I mean, if you double in size, they kind of have to.
If I make him bigger, is he like dragon sized?
He would technically be huge.
Yeah. which is not dragon sized.
Well, it's young dragon sized.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh my god!
I don't get a strength bonus.
Oh my god! I just thought of something.
Because the sizes are on that.
You get an additional 1d4.
Yeah, but they're not by creature. I want to look particularly for what.
Against a young dragon.
So young dragons are large.
So Sarkin's well.
Oh, so do we get our gold from
So adult dragons are huge.
we get our gold from
Ancient
killing
dragons are gargantuan.
We
Young
got
dragons
gold
are large.
from.
Wait, so he'd be
You didn't give
bigger
me
than a
gold.
young dragon.
He'd be the size of an adult dragon.
Dragon. Your
Yeah,
weight
like
would go up
The
by
size
8
class.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the
yeah,
contract
man.
gold.
Yeah.
We got some of that. I think it was added to the party goal or something, maybe, or not.
No,
All right.
first we make
Anyway,
him
we're
really
live.
big.
We're live now.
Oh, we are live?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So with this new staff now, can I pull a Gandalf?
Not quite.
Fall down a chasm.
You're talking about
never
the
be seen for
Moria
the rest of the
doors? I mean, it.
Shall not pass and stuff.
Oh, sure, on the bridge. I thought you were
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
the dwarven doors.
No.
They just might get killed by a demon.
You could definitely
no,
pull
I
that
would kill
Gandalf.
the demon in the end and level up. Well, if I was
All right,
Gandalf,
Garrick's dying from a demon today.
if I was Gandalf,
No, you already said it. That was like Marisha Ray saying, "What could happen? We're gods," and then leaping off a 1,000-foot cliff. So say goodbye to Garrick.
wait, who is that?
Marisha Ray is on Critical Role.
She thought the DM who's her husband wouldn't kill her if she jumped off a cliff.
So she jumped off a 1,000-foot cliff onto a bunch of rocks,
Hey,
and she went.
I can say
Is
one.
Bo dead? Did she have to
No. This was in the previous campaign, and they were high enough level that they actually were able to revive her. But like, she did die. She outright died because she took something like 370 damage from the fall.
So
1,000-foot cliff.
I do have a one word that can summon up a mighty force.
Is it Ard?
No.
Okay.
Even mightier than that. The most mightiest force I can imagine.
Please.
Don't say it.
Starts with an I.
Don't say it. I knew he was going.
All right, that's 7 points of lightning damage to Garrick.
So can we
You
get
push
a
the envelope too much, and the line gets pushed back.
Can we
Oh, really?
Yes.
A recap of last week.
Yes.
Okay.
So, last week the group went back to Fort Sel, gathered up a mob, or the week before, gathered up a mob and returned to the Shattered Citadel to fight the vampire. Last week, the fight commenced, and the party burst in through the holes they had made with dynamite, jumping downward after Cranmore was able to open up the pit underneath of the floor that had been opened up by the initial blast. The party dropped down with several of the mob, and others stayed above to fight the forces of the vampires, sort of peons and minions above, including several of the soldiers. Below, the battle raged as Jasna was taken by surprise by this vampire and quickly hurt very badly. But with their overwhelming numbers against the undead creature, the party and their mob of angry citizens were able to overcome the vampire. Jasna finally splattering his form against the wall with a force ballista bolt shot from her turret. Above, the battle raged somewhat evenly on either side between the forces of darkness and the mob, until Cranmore and a few of his companions leapt up to the surface to aid the townspeople, pushing back the ghouls, ghasts, and skeletons that still besieged the living. The battle being finished, the dead were counted, and all told, almost a score of townspeople had fallen during the fight. The bodies were loaded onto a makeshift cart and pulled back to Fort Sel. Initially, the greeting was solemn, as the guards noted that despite the triumph of the evening, many had been lost. But nonetheless, with Cranmore's encouragement and calling out the town, they did celebrate their fallen and the victory that was gained at their expense. The night was solemn but glad, and in the morning came a ceremony, a lighting of pyres. to send off the dearly departed. Oh yes. Before the pyre was lit, a young girl asked to say goodbye to her father, who was one of the perished. Norwin brought his spirit back temporarily to give the girl her peace. The heartfelt conversation between them was brief, but left a lasting impact on those who witnessed it. Cranmore comforted the girl's mother, who found it too difficult to face the fallen form of her husband. And after this had occurred and the father's form was back to rest, the pyre was lit and the souls sent off into the ether. And that, I believe, is where we stopped. So, Keepers of Fate, what would you like to do?
I would like to experiment with the black opal.
Okay.
Which, according to the journal, the guy was trying to use it to amplify his ability Withstand Daylight.
Mhm.
Since it didn't work, I'm going to work with Norwin, if he's fine with that, to try and detect the magic around it and see if there's anything useful.
Okay.
Are we assuming that we've already slept and this is the following?
Oh, yeah.
This is
I would like to
continuing after
sleep.
the memorial.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've done the long rest then.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that I would want to rest more.
Yeah, I'm not doing a thing until the next day after the memorial.
Yeah.
Just business
Fair
is
enough.
the last thing on my mind. Is like, whoa, that happened.
Yeah.
Very quiet. So
Also, I realized what I fucked up last week. The vampire should have been healing 20 hit points every round.
Oh, is that why he wasn't that hard to beat?
That makes more sense.
did you forget to do it all together?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was.
So he
I
had
completely
lifelink?
forgot about his regeneration feat.
I thought
And
you
so-
used it once because when he hit me.
So he did use his drain, but he just
Oh.
he passively regenerates HP every turn.
wow.
Yeah.
And that's not above our level.
It would have brought it to the point that someone likely would have died.
I see.
Is what I will say.
But
You
we
all
were-
probably still could
yeah.
have won, but someone likely would have either gone down and been making death saving throws and been very close, or actually died.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I was the closest one to death, and I didn't get the lowest I got was 14.
Did you want to
That's
get
where
your
I was,
money?
I think.
To be fair, one more
Yeah.
attack and he probably would have taken
Yes.
you down.
Let's go and get our money.
Is anyone trying to do anything before the next day?
No, I want to go to sleep.
I mean, if you'd like to do
I mean,
your
it's
research with
early
the
enough
opal, you
that I'm
could.
gonna sleep for like 4 more hours or something, and then I'll be up.
It is still relatively early in the morning. The wake up call was like dawnbreak, so it's maybe
Yeah.
8:30 or 9 in the morning.
So if we go rest more, do we get benefits of a full rest, or?
Didn't you all already take a full rest?
We already
took a
we
full
did,
rest,
but
so
then
you
it was like
can't
a
get-
weird hour in the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna wake up after that because I'm not gonna feel like sleeping
Mhm.
more. Which one of you knows more about magic? Like magical artifacts and stuff.
Artifacts would be her.
So the opal is what I'm trying to work with and see what this guy was doing, because I wrote out the journal to you guys, right? Which one of you would be able to help me with that? You know, better, more suited to the task.
You can identify magic and stuff, so I can just detect it.
Okay, so
Or can you still do that with your new role?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
she
gonna
can.
say-
She still has identify as a ritual.
okay.
Do I?
Yep, you do.
Do you want to?
I don't think you can just cast it as well as a ritual.
I'm
It
trying to
doesn't
see if it's
expend
a
spell slot.
ritual. I don't think I prepped it though.
You don't have to for ritual casting.
Yeah.
I think I do.
Do you?
Yeah, it's not in my prep spells.
Really?
It's not.
I mean,
in
I
my
can
spell
perform
list.
a marriage, but it's not in my list of prep spells because it's a ritual. I can. That's the thing.
Well, he can let you marry your rock.
Okay.
You are now married to your rock.
Boo.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can actually.
Okay, wait.
Because it's in my.
It'll be a class feature, so find your spell casting.
Yeah, because it's here.
Go back
now.
one.
Okay.
Spell casting.
Ow. You heard that pop, didn't you?
I did hear it.
Hello, BionD&D.
Okay, since it doesn't mention it,
What?
It says, okay, wait, you can
Oh,
cast
there we go.
a ritual.
if you have that spell prepared. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't.
So yours is like
Right.
clerics. Okay.
Yeah.
It was my.
Alrighty.
I can help you another
results
day.
sound like-
Yeah.
I can help you not today.
So rest it is.
Yep.
But
Is
I would
there-
at least detect magic
Yeah, I
on
was gonna
it.
say detect.
Sure.
on it.
It is not magical.
That's what I figured.
You still have the dragon, don't you?
The dragon? Yes, I do.
Yeah. That also has a firestone, which they were using to.
Yes, that opal you already know though has magic on it. You
Yeah.
detected that through the chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could probably burn some. Oh yeah, I'm allowed to swear on this, am I not?
Yeah, you're allowed to swear.
Oh, you probably burn some further down.
It's a pretty small dragon.
It's a very small.
Well, no, if
It's
you
like
use
this big.
if you use the gem on a weapon or something like that, I'm guessing.
I mean, the gem is what powers it, and like it's not like since
Oh.
it's set in a small dragon, it is also small. It can't exactly store that much energy.
Oh, gotcha. Jasna, could you?
proportional to the square root of the.
Oh god. Professor Norwin. Jasna, are you able to imbibe magic in any gems?
Imbue?
Imbue.
I was like, imbibe.
I can drink all the magic I want.
I
Hey.
can, but I already have all my ones that I can do it to. Like, I can't do it right now.
Okay.
I have like a max number that I can keep at one time.
So
Okay.
maybe you'd like to set an appointment with her.
Yes, she can pencil you in for next Friday.
Do they have days of the week?
Yes.
Okay.
Days of the week are actually the same. It's months don't exist
Oh.
and weeks are just based on season.
I see.
So Thor
that's right.
exists in this universe because Thursday is.
No, Thursday is actually named for something completely different. As is Friday and Monday and Sunday and,
And
Tuesday
Wednesday.
and Wednesday.
All the days.
Saturday
Yeah,
is actually
see?
also named for something different, but it wasn't named for like a Norse god, so I wasn't going to include it.
But I can I check for him and see if I know anything about
Any of these?
opal magic?
Sure, make an Arcana check. You're not using your Tinker's tools or anything, so you don't get your expertise, but you do get, I think you have proficiency in it.
Yeah, 16.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's a 9, 17.
Wait,
Yeah.
how do you have
Mine's-
plus 8?
My Arcana's plus 8.
Just in general?
Yeah.
Damn, girl.
Shit. Alright, cool. Yeah, so
That's
with a
awesome.
17, I mean, you're generally aware of the fact that gemstones can be used to hold magical power. The extent of that power and the permanence of it sort of depends on the skill of the person imbuing the gem and what their goal is.
Okay. So I can tell that
But-
the vampire failed to imbue magic in that particular
Yes.
stone.
And you can also divine that a stone like this black opal, the more rare the stone, typically it correlates with a higher propensity for taking hold of magic, for allowing magic to exist inside of it.
Okay.
So this opal could hold magic.
Easily.
Easily.
And I guess, do we know, are any of the stones that Garrick found any rarer than the black opal, or was the black opal the
I
rarest?
have
Yes.
the price over here from.
The black opal is the most expensive.
Yeah.
The black
Black
pearl is the second. It's similar tier.
Okay. Should we?
Maybe we can look and see if there's a lore master over here or some kind, and get some of these imbued with magic, so that we could maybe use them instead of just selling them.
I don't know how hard it is for other magic users, but it's very difficult for me to imbue things with magic. So like, you might pay a very large amount of money to do that.
Wow, those gems are expensive.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're in the businessman's purse. Just chugging along with my gems.
I feel like like she's the businesswoman.
She does
well,
literally own a
she
business.
does.
Like
She owns a business. I'm a freelancer.
Freelancer.
also known as
That's
a witcher.
actually not a bad way to describe what witches
See?
do.
See?
That's true.
I know my class. Okay. Can we look around and see if there are any masters of Arcana? Just to kind of.
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
I'm also gonna try and ask the people that we talked to.
That's part of the investigation check.
What is everybody doing today?
Trying to take over the world.
I'm gonna ignore that and assume you're joking.
I need to send some correspondence to Ileana.
I also
You know
need
what they
to
say about assuming.
I need to send
6.
some correspondence, and I want to check in on some projects in the city.
6? Yeah, you don't find anything. You ask around, and most of the folks that you've talked to and that you're somewhat familiar with aren't really in that sphere, and so they don't really know where to direct you.
What are you doing today, Morthos?
I'd love to go back to that temple and check in on the priest.
Yeah, and get our money for killing the thing.
That
I thought you already got it.
No, we got the investigation money.
Oh yeah, but we need to close it out. Plus, I wouldn't mind like going there once before we leave. Are we still planning on going north to the city on the river to see how we were going to travel down it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that might be good to do because
I want to get a cushion.
the priest
Get
might
a
have
print
some
on
sort
a
of
cushion
contact
that says, "You shall not ask."
with their what?
You shall not ask.
Ass.
Ass.
I'm seeing that throw pillow with Gandalf on it. I thought it'd be really funny to have a chair with that printed on the seat of it. That says, "You shall not ask."
That's good. That's clever. All right.
Does
So
Grandmore's intelligence modifier go up by 1 point?
Dennis's does. All right. So who's doing their thing next? You wanted to check on. Well, you were the next one to say something, so let's do yours.
So I'll do the more interesting thing to everyone else first. I'm going to ask around for the dwarf gentleman that was with us. I don't know how easy it is to track down, so I'm going to start asking around for. There's a dwarf in the group that joined us. Has anyone seen him? I'd like to
Certainly.
pay my respects.
Make an investigation check.
Did he die?
No. 6 plus 0 is 6.
Okay.
Which is appropriate for Cranmore. I'm looking for a very small biped with a beard.
Go ahead and also make a perception check for me, though.
Ooh.
7.
Rough.
Like you,
Yeah,
but
but-
a little shorter.
Yeah. Hey, you say to the 6 foot tall elven man.
You
What do you mean a little?
I'm sorry,
You gestured down here.
I have an angle of view that's
I know,
really
but the
difficult to
difference
tell.
is between you and me, and then me and the person you're describing.
I know I'm not the right person, and I apologize. You
It's
might be the
okay.
right person, though. Would you be able to help me find? Are there many dwarves here?
There's a few.
Is there a place where they congregate?
That's mildly racist.
Snow White's house?
I guess you just don't know. I mean, most beings in the city gather at the tavern in the evenings. That could be a decent bet. As you're having this conversation, you get a tap sort of on your right hind quarter,
Okay. Look over.
and you see the small dwarf man behind you. I could hear you from a mile off. Are you looking for me?
Yes. Okay. I would definitely recognize him on sight.
Oh, yeah.
It's just. All right.
The elf is offended and just.
Thank you so much for your help. I appreciate it.
Good day, Bruggen. And he walks off.
Okay.
What's a Brugan?
An idiot.
No, he gestured that to the dwarf
Oh,
by
okay.
your side.
I thought that was to me. So Brogan is the name of the dwarf.
Oh.
So Brogan, we met already, and
Aye, that we did.
and I really appreciate you pitching in. but it got me thinking. I haven't met someone from back home since I've been traveling, since I've been away. And since that time, a lot of things have been happening. Now, I keep a journal of the things I come across, the things I see, story, songs, places.
That's mighty fancy of you.
It helps pass the time. It helps keep me organized. I use it for reflecting sometimes, especially when I'm meditating.
I can respect that.
Also, as you can imagine, some things are a little bit tricky for me, and I'm still learning, so keeping notes helps.
Don't mind old Highbrows over there. He's a bit standoffish to everyone.
Oh, it's fair. I get that a lot. So, with the things that have been happening, it's one thing when there's a vampire in one place and we vanquish it, and that's a great story. But there's an undercurrent of other things happening with armies moving, and
So I hear.
you may have also. I'm gonna be putting a lot of trust into you now. You may have also heard that there is. I'm trying to remember what I know. An army leader, a king, who I think is not on the right side of things. We may even run afoul of him already, as far as I can tell. And he's looking for some magical artifacts.
You're talking about the king who rules all this. These soldiers here. There is.
Yes. Am I out of earshot by that? Out of character. Am I out of earshot with soldiery?
Make a perception check.
I am trying to be careful. Oh gosh. 3 plus 4, 7.
Yeah. As far as you can tell, yes.
Alright, well, should we go somewhere else to talk about this sensitive issue?
Plenty of people about. I think we're all right.
What? But that's not
Okay. So the point is,
Yep.
I have
Why
this,
don't we walk while we talk?
Right. So in my satchel, I have a journal that has sensitive information that may be of interest to our folks back home. And I have reason to believe that, so we've been on the lookout for magical items. I have reason to believe that other folks may also be on the lookout for magical items. And I would like our people to know about this, so that if they see travelers, they can size them up and handle things appropriately. If they're
Right.
really trust, help them. If they're folks they're wary of, let them move on, or perhaps even stop them if they know what's going on. So I've got a lot of this written down. Some things I understand what I wrote, some things I don't understand what I wrote, and it's in here. And what
Are you wanting me to tug the whole journal back home?
So I'm not asking you to leave this place, but you've been here, you know where this needs to go. It's sensitive. I'm aware that there are folks that can move information, maybe even using secret languages and tricks to move things
You're
through.
talking about the Thieves Guild.
Yes. And it's something that I heard about a couple cities ago.
A couple sessions ago.
And someone was, yeah. So that might be the way to do it. It doesn't put you into further danger. I think that we have a pretty good shot of the information getting there in a timely fashion in a way that it can be trusted and used. And that's what their service is for, right? So.
Indeed. Well, your best bet. Unfortunately, there's not really much around here. The Thieves Guild is based in Erevar, and while they often do have incursions and arms that branch out into other nations, especially with the war going on, they're pulling back. Your best bet would be if you can go up near the Great Darren River. If you get up there, you may be able to find someone who can help you out.
Okay. So, my group has to go to another location. I don't know if that's on the way.
Well, the river would be north. It separates Erevar from Dane. It runs the entire length of the continent. And it's a major waterway.
Okay. So, how about this? I'm going to talk to my friends. And if we're moving that way, then I will find the Thieves Guild there, but it will be tricky if I don't have someone like you that can help make introductions. if we're not going that way, can I offer you gold to make the journey that far?
I'd be more than happy to.
Okay. While we continue with where we have to go.
Yeah.
So I'll ask because honestly, I still have difficulty with some of the locations here. All right.
No worries, friend.
Well, thank you.
Any of the Tutoris tribe is a friend of mine. I'll do what I can.
And likewise, anyone from Albin?
Albin.
Albin is a friend of the Tutatis. All right.
Well, God see you on your way.
And to you. And I'm going to go find Norwin, who I know.
Sort of casually parts from
Yeah,
you as
yes.
y'all are walking.
So, and I never took the thing out in the satchel, but now I'm going to casually, now I'm going to find you because I know you have maps.
And gold.
That hasn't even crossed my mind yet. So, do you want to do this conversation next? Okay, I just talked to this guy and...
Sure, there can be a continuation that might
Okay.
also lead into the other things.
Alright, so, Norwin,
So as he comes up to me, I'm kind of just like fiddling around, trying to work on that spell, but kind of half-assing it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna like roll for that, but I think I'm gonna like halve it. It's a 12 halved,
Okay.
so like 6. So that makes me up to
Also,
55.
so this one we'll go ahead and do the way we've been doing it, but I actually have like a spellcasting rule set now that I developed with one of the people in the other group who is also a DM, and we
Okay.
just sort of sat like I bounced ideas off her for a while, and I have a pretty robust like spellcraft rule set
Okay.
that I'll give you, and that can be more of a reference going forward.
Cool.
So does he have to pay a lot of things?
You
now
kind
for
of
spells?
notice.
What do I see?
You kind of
Depends
notice
on the
that I'm
spell.
like
Okay.
Same goes for you. You'll eventually want that as
trying
well.
to do something, but my heart's not really in it, and I seem distracted.
Norwin, are you okay?
Yeah, just
Something on your mind?
just thinking about what happened.
Hmm.
Is all.
Okay. So, I was just talking to one of the folks that was with us when we were fighting the vampire, a dwarf. He was on Brogan. And what I'd like to do is, he's mentioned that we can get help from the Thieves Guild to get my journal back to my folks. So with all the things that's been happening, I think that my tribe needs to know about this. And I can start another journal, but it occurs to me that, having talked to him, that some of this stuff we've been seeing should get back to my people. And the Thieves Guild may be the safe way of moving that information along. Safe,
Can you trust
quick.
thieves?
The impression I get is that they're professionals. If they can't be trusted, they can't be in business.
Do you know of any kind of code that you could use beforehand?
So this is why I was talking to Brogan, because I think he can make an introduction. However, the guild is not here. So they're north of here, and
I meant to conceal the information from prying eyes.
it's written in a mix of Common, Elven, and Sylvan. So, some of it might be
That's fair.
easily read, some of it might not be. Someone might recognize what it is and find someone else who can translate for him if it's snatched. But I think that the Thieves Guild wants to stay operating, and this is one of the things they do to apply their trade. I think it's worth the risk also to move the information along. And I'll let anyone in the group
How far into
audit
Erevar?
the journal before agreeing to send it. If there's a page we want to tear out or cover over, if there's something you don't want, if there's something you want redacted before I send it,
How far into Erevar is your tribe?
pretty far. Quite a ways north and west.
Oh. So I forget. Did you mention the stuff about going north to get to find somebody from the Thieves Guild yet?
Vaguely, he didn't
Oh,
give
sorry.
he didn't give the specifics of
Let
like
me tell you.
along the river.
So if
Dare
we go
or
north
anything.
along the river, that's where the Thieves Guild is backed up due to the war, and that's where we'd be able to find them. Is that on the way to our next place for the next artifact, or is that
I think
out
that
of the way?
I think that the last I remember, our plan was to go north to Opytro and see if we could figure out from there where to go next.
I gotta start writing this stuff down more
Yeah,
carefully.
I know.
So we're supposed to go. We're here, right? Now up here is, I believe, where the Thieves Guild is, right?
Well, he said along the river, like
Along
closer
the
to the river
Yeah.
would be your best bet.
Right.
He didn't
And
give you
that's
an
on the
exact
river,
name of
so-
the place.
And this is our next stop, right?
That's what I remember.
That I think was the thought because you wanted to see if you could get a boat to Aquilea.
Yeah.
Which is way over
I
there.
remember that out of character. I'm just like
Oh,
playing this.
But what about the
Sorry.
ruins?
Yeah.
What about these ruins? I thought we were gonna go here.
So we're gonna go
we
back
we
there.
had
on
talked
the way
about
back.
it at one point.
Because we do have to go all the way back over here. So
Yeah.
we're not in this conversation.
So we want to go here and then all the way down.
And I don't trust ruins by river. For obvious
The
reasons.
ruins is
We're on
not,
the other side of the mountains
The
there.
ruins are not by a river.
River?
That's not a river. That line.
Yeah.
that line is the line that.
It's a ley line.
Oh.
It's actually not a ley line. It's the line drawn on Malaraxis's mural.
But I think there's
No,
a
this
ley
is a ley
line.
line.
Yeah, that goes
This
with
is
it.
the line on
Oh,
Malarax.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, that's a lake.
Okay, so I am.
Where's the river?
Okay, so what I'm gonna
The
do
blue.
though, I'm
Sorry, I
gonna
didn't see that.
just hold this business until we get up here, and then I'll bring it up again then.
Okay.
And it needs to get up here. Like,
Do you know?
Oh my god, is there a spirit in here? Not twice.
There-ish.
So we have to go into other country and deliver this. Well, we don't, but the Thieves Guild does. So I'll hold this business until we get up here to our next stop. Okay. And that's and if anyone in the group wants to take a look at my journal, if there's something that they feel is too sensitive, needs to get redacted, or something they're uncomfortable with, but it will include things like names, descriptions, outlines of things that have happened. Yeah.
Well,
Wait,
if
but
you
we're not
talk
there.
about me or my business, I do hope it's in a good light.
Everything is pretty much just what I see, not with evaluation on it, unless it's positive.
Observational only.
If anytime there's an opinion, it's going to be a positive one. Like, well, that was neat, or those guards seem confused and they attacked us, and that's unfortunate.
I wish not to be mentioned
At all.
at all. For then, if it falls in the hands of our enemies, they will be expecting 4, not 5. I mean, 4, not 5.
People know how many are in the Keepers of Fate.
You're
Generally
starting
not.
to sort of have tales told of
Yeah.
you.
So
Yeah,
some stuff
got
is
a bit
just
of notoriety.
Yeah. I was expecting things more like the fact that we actually have one of these weapons already.
Why not just embellish our abilities? Start the myth.
Ooh,
So
actually, I
there are
think
other ways
that's
to
quite
do
good
that. What I
idea.
want to make sure is that my people have an accurate record with the minimum information that they would need
Make
to
sure
make good
that you don't
decisions.
mention Morthos' axe. Mention that he just has an axe.
Well, one of the things I do want my folks to know is that we have recovered one of these items, and that we're on the hunt for more of them,
Well, okay, how about...
and that there are others also hunting for them, and that they need to make a judgment
in your
on
mention
that.
of that, how about you use more of a code? So you translate it into the highest Sylvan you can.
Or you just make it into a rhyming poem because people hate those unless they really like them.
Well, they won't like mine. I am no bard.
Yeah, at least it's
I think
better
it'd be a
than-
good diversion though because people would stop reading that we're like the King's Guard. I bet they wouldn't read a poem, but I bet your people would.
Or we can make copies of it and send it in different directions. They won't know the right one.
I think the Thieves
Copies will
Guild
take
can
a
just
long
sort of
time.
straightforward send the thing to where it needs to go.
I mean, like fake copies that tell like incorrect things.
Yeah, one of them says that Morthos has an axe, another one says that I have a sword, another one says that Norman has a giant club of doom.
That sounds like a lot of effort.
It does.
Let's hire some scribes.
Disseminating false information does take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
This
the
ain't me,
printing
man.
press has not been invented yet, right?
Right. Gutenberg ain't alive yet.
Gutenberg's been on like Guten Tag.
I guess we can hold off on the fake news factory.
It took me months to put this one book together.
I like it.
Yeah,
what
we
what
shall
was
name
the
it
king's name again?
F-A-U-X-E.
Darren.
Okay.
All the kings are Darren of Dane.
Oh.
This one, I think I gave you numbers at one point. I think this is Darren the 16th.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds about right.
It's 14 or 16. It was one of the numbers of the famous Louis.
Oh, the Sun King.
It was one of them because both the 14. Well, I think 14, 15, and 16 are all famous for various reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting confused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. I know one of them is the Sun King.
So my only other
I think it
business
was
is going to be
14.
the usual looking
I
for
think that's right.
books to
And
donate to
candy.
the local orphanage and read to them, and look for public works that maybe I could lend a hand with building something like working on a road or
Okay.
a bridge or.
Go ahead
A
and make
hospital.
a investigation check.
My
Oh
gosh.
gosh.
Four.
We are rolling so
We're in
bad.
guys' jail.
Somebody convinces you their works are good, but they're for evil.
Yeah, we totally need a wall here, a 3-foot farm wall for
A road.
reasons.
It's a charity to raise money for hate.
My
groups.
insight is really good though. That's different. If someone's trying to sucker me into something, that's different. I can tell if I'm getting suckered. It's
Fair.
different than.
Fair.
Well, what if you're being suckered by someone that doesn't know that he's being suckered? So he 100% wholeheartedly believes in it.
Oh yeah, that, no.
Then you're technically gonna be suckered.
You're hitting on the Gettier problem of knowledge here.
I know, right?
Always falls down to entomology. Or,
Etymology.
yeah, etymology.
Or epistemology.
Yeah, epistemology, that's the word I was looking for.
Entomology is the study of ends, right?
Yeah, treat
Okay.
people.
It's the study of
Hey,
insects,
they left
pastries,
warrens too.
endemons. I stretched. I'm sorry, that was bad.
It's okay, we forgive you this time.
Yeah,
I thought entomology was insects.
It
it
is.
is.
Okay.
Etymology is word origins, epistemology
Yeah.
is knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Epistemology is the field that spawned the Gettier problem. Okay, so what did you got a 4?
Mm.
So not much.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be investigating.
I mean, you are looking to find like a bookshop where you could get books to donate.
Can't I just
Or,
ask somebody? Hey, where do you get books
That's
on here?
part of the investigation check. Is do you find somebody who knows their way around enough to be like, yes, there's a bookshop over here.
That's what I did for the
Okay.
opal too. So
I didn't think it'd be that hard to. In the whole city. Okay.
maybe you're just in a
It's a big
shitty
city.
place.
It's hard to find your way around if you don't already know it.
Guess it's
All the
Um,
good shops closed down.
That
sorry.
said, there is a map at the opening to this city, so I'll say you get to make it with advantage.
Okay. You are here. Oh, there's the food court. 6.
All right.
Wait,
So-
plus what?
No, 6.
Nothing. His int modifier is 0, and he's not proficient in it. Okay, so actually, it is enough to find
Modifier
something.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the base DC was 5.
I found-
so when you rolled
I
a 4,
found
I
the
was
Orange
like, oh.
Julius. And someone happens to be reading a book there.
Hey, where'd you get that?
So you're wandering kind of like absently, and you're asking around a bit, but a few people are like a bit put off by the moose tar appearance, and the people who aren't are either busy and like can't give you enough time to really like recall what they're like what you're trying to find at the same time as they're thinking of their own stuff. And the other people you find are just either newer to the city or don't just like go to the places that you're asking about often enough to know about them. So you don't really find too much information from people, but eventually you stumble across a... I don't have the map.
Turns
out,
out it's
do
like
I?
pornography. Oh, I found the pornographer bookseller. Oh boy.
No, that's a higher roll because they try to hide. This is decent society, Cranmore. What you do eventually find, you come upon an alleyway with 3 large buildings, sort of left, right, and rear. And each of them is sort of grandiose in its own way, but the one on your left is entirely wooden. Nothing but carved wood makes up its structure. And there are scaffolds aplenty sort of along each wall of it, and it looks like they are in the middle of a pretty significant renovation to the building. So there's your public works project.
All right. And is this something I can pitch in on for the afternoon?
You could certainly ask.
All right. So. Ding, ding, ding.
You wait a moment, and one of the people on the scaffolds sort of comes down and says, "Hey, mate, there's there's no one inside today. It's a bit of an off day for them while we're working. What can I do for you?
Well, I come about the working. So this town has been very good to us, and I'd like to give something back by pitching in on some of these public works projects. I'm a bit handy myself. I can reach things, lift things, good with wood. So if I can lend a hand, move a hammer or a saw, it gives me.
I was in the back, but were you at the square when the pyre happened?
Yes, I was.
Are you one of the keepers of fate that they keep talking about?
I if you say so.
Well, I mean, I think wouldn't you know?
People are talking. I guess we have a name for ourselves now.
I see. Well,
It's a little embarrassing, but yeah.
no. For what you've done for the city, if you're asking to help more, who am I to say no? The name's Remus, by the way.
Remus.
I actually own the Carpenters College that this building is home to.
We have a carpenter's college with apprenticeships and journeys. Oh, that's
Indeed. So certainly, if you're good with a saw and a hammer and wood and would like to help out, I'm more than happy to put you to work for the day.
excellent. I appreciate that.
As you get a closer look, sort of at the college, the work is incredible. It is like nothing you've seen before. There are intricate carvings of like natural vistas, intricate like leaves that are detailed in the frames of every door that you find and window. The shutters are not just like simple slided shutters. Each shutter sort of actuates on a hinge, and has these like very nice sort of almost thin sheeted like porous wooden sheets that actually allow airflow when the shutters are closed even. It's very, very impressive work, and the entire college is done up in this just beautiful mahogany.
That's a bit intimidating.
The whole building. Well,
I'll make sure I don't volunteer to do something that's over my head, and I may learn a few things from this.
Oh, that's what we hope for. And don't worry, the college is something of my life's work. It's an ongoing process, so if you mess something up, it'll get fixed.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity, Remus. This is going to be a good day.
Very good. I look forward to working with you. And I'd actually like you to roll. This be performance? I feel like performance isn't. Maybe? Does this fall under
Some sort of
performance?
skill.
Maybe just straight dex?
Sleight of hand.
I can do a straight dex if you like.
If there's something you think that would be more fitting for Cranmore to use for this, let me know.
Strength!
No. I got an animal handling because he's an animal. Well, half an animal.
It'd be better with a dex check.
Right.
I'll just do dex
And
check.
and with double
Okay.
advantage because he's half of it.
And yeah, go ahead and make a roll.
I would like to use. What do you do with an inspiration point?
You use it to gain advantage on any roll of your choice.
All right.
Well, any d20 roll of your choice.
So I've had this inspiration point.
Besides dex
I'd
saves?
actually like to use it here because I think if it's a situation here
Okay.
where I'm inspired by what I'm seeing.
Roll it.
Okay, which is good because I just rolled a 1. So I'm glad I called it before I did that. It'd be a 20. It is a 20!
Hey!
There goes my inspiration.
failed my
Carpenters,
success.
everything.
Go ahead and add a 6 to the total.
26.
Your dex is +0.
Oh, it's +3, so 29.
Okay. This is a little bit interesting, and I will admit this is experimental.
Pick up a
so-
winch. Oh, whoa, okay, I'm good.
What I will say is, you now have proficiency in fine detail wood carving. Throughout the day, Remus is sort of guiding you along and helping you, and sort of like working typically on the same scaffold as you because he's taken sort of an interest in how eager you were to help out. And so while he does shift around to just about everyone throughout the day, he continuously comes back to you and sort of tries to give you a guiding hand and shows you a few tricks of his trade. And so, yeah, you gain this particular proficiency. I'll be honest, I'm sort of stealing this from a friend of mine who's developing a game system wherein you can get bonuses at like very specific things as well as like more generic skills. So I'm sort of stealing this a little bit, and because you did so well, I think you deserve proficiency on that. As you learn throughout the day to do these very beautiful, intricate carvings. Okay, Jasna, what are you doing?
Ooh, okay. So I am going to do a few things. I made a list. The first thing I want to do is send a letter to Aliton about what we've been up to.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go find a post office and do that. And then I wanted to
Is it just plain text?
just plain text.
Okay.
It is not coded, it is just information.
Are you putting anything sensitive in there?
You won't believe what happened on the way here. We killed several guards.
But I do actually, I am going to
Is that in your
send
journal?
Ileana the dragon toy with the fire opal.
Okay.
Because I want her to try to figure out how
Gotta
to
pay shipping. For
Okay,
this.
I will. But I want her to figure out how to replicate it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna send her that with a brief explanation of where we found it and what it does.
Okay.
And are we gonna start making money off this store at some point?
Mhm.
Okay.
Are you telling her where? Did you tell her that you were going to be in Fort Cell? I think you did, right?
I think I did the last
Yeah.
place we were.
Okay. That actually, you reminded me that you probably should get money for that already.
Yeah. So I'm gonna send her the dragon.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell her that next we're going to this, what's it called? Opytro is where we're going next.
Okay.
And
Is it Opytro or Opytro? I thought it was
Opytro.
Tro.
Yeah, it's true.
Opytro. And I'm gonna ask her how the collaboration we have with the woodworking dude is going, and also whether the guy that I sent back to work for her ever showed up.
Okay. So you go ahead and it's on the map, so you don't have trouble finding the sort of courier service. And as you enter, there's a gnomish man, sort of elderly, with these large half-moon spectacles, sort of poring over a ledger, flipping pages. There's a disgruntled-looking tiefling woman in front of him who sort of, "It's going to take all day." And the gnome goes, "Patience, patience." And he sort of continues flipping through pages.
Am I at the DMV?
Oh my god, it's like Zootopia with the sloth.
I have not seen it, but I've seen the scene. It's,
And you know how he
scene.
laughs?
yeah.
God.
So you're sort of waiting behind this tiefling woman in line, and after about another minute or so, he says, "Aha! Here it is. That'll be 7 silver and 3 copper." She just like tosses like a gold on the thing. "Keep the change. I don't want to watch you count it out." She walks out.
Move.
Just as a little bit.
That wasn't me.
No, this was the tiefling woman in front of her. He looks up from his ledger and goes, "Next."
Oh, hello, sir. I was wondering.
Oh, hello.
Nice to meet a fellow gnome.
Good to meet you as well.
I was wondering if I could ship this to Aliton. And I put my package down.
What's that?
Starts flipping pages back. Aliton. Well, yes. And what's your name?
Jasna.
Jasno. What a pretty name. And to whom is this being sent?
Ileana.
He starts writing with his left hand as he's flipping pages. It's like he's obviously not left-handed, and it's almost illegible. As he's writing it down on a pad of paper. Here we are. Aliton. Okay, that's pretty close by. How much? Oh, and he sees sort of the dragon that you've put there. My, okay. And looks around. I'll be back in just a minute. And he hops down from a stool and sort of scurries into a back room, waiting for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then you hear this like boom! And it kind of catches you off guard, and I'm okay! Comes back out with a wooden crate and sort of sets it on the desk in front of him, and he like peels a chip off of it that had sort of cracked, opens the lid and sort of sets the dragon inside, closes it back up. All right, for a package this size, are you sending a letter with it?
Yes, and I hand him the letter.
Very good. He opens it up, sticks it in, looks inside, sort of shifts the dragon, shifts it again, shifts it a third time.
Oh dear God.
Takes
I'm not
it
even
out.
there.
Sticks the letter underneath, puts it back in, closes it back up. All right. Weighs it in his hand for a second. 8 gold.
8 gold?
Packages that are heavy like this, young lady, cost a little bit more to carry.
Gary.
It's a person who takes this to Aliton, you understand.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Do you want to insight check him?
Yeah, I want to insight check this sketchy gnome.
Sketchy? No. Oh God. Matt,
That is not high. 20.
He's jipping you. It's probably more like 4.
Can I speak to your manager?
He hops down from the stool. He hops back up. Hello!
Can I? Okay, looking around the shop, can I see how you put the packages somewhere that they'll be taken? Like, is it obvious?
No. There's nothing that you see immediately.
There's no, like, stamps or anything obvious?
This isn't an organized postal service.
You know what? Oh. Oh no, that'd be mean. I'm gonna do it
Aren't you
anyway.
chaotic?
Yeah.
So, basically, he's kind of like old and not really paying attention to what's happening. So I have an alchemy jug and I can fill it with poison, just like basic poison. I'm not gonna kill him, don't worry. But
You can't quite fill it.
I
think
can get a half an ounce of
Yeah.
poison. So I want to give like a tiny bit, a few drops of poison, and then I'm gonna make my jug fill that, and then I'm gonna pour it in my growler of beer.
Okay.
Well, sir, it seems as though I have a friend who might actually be able to take my package. I'm a bit short on change, but you know, have a beer. And I offer him a drink.
Nat 3 on his insight check. Well, thank you, young miss. It does get to be thirsty work doing all this page turning.
he's gonna kill the old guy.
No, it was only enough to give him indigestion. And I walk out. I don't care.
How?
Oh, you don't
Yeah,
want
I
the
just
package?
leave.
You just take your
I
package
can
and
take
go?
my package and leave.
Okay. Hey, you have to return that crate. Oh, forget it.
He's gonna have a very unpleasant night.
Okay. You could have just counter-offered
I was
him.
gonna say, like, yeah, I know.
More gold.
Like,
I
how
was
are you
gonna
gonna
say,
get this
Matt.
back now?
Matt, if you didn't get inspiration for that performance was very inspiring. Man.
I'm just
I think you
hurt.
already have inspiration, don't you?
No, you don't.
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, that's...
Because God.
I always
No.
have inspiration. I
I'll
roll
just-
as many times as I want.
I'll just mail this from somewhere else.
I don't cheat. Okay.
Oh, but I did want to go buy a few
Damn,
things at the
huh?
store.
Sure.
Is there some store that I can buy ball bearings and flour at? Like a general store?
You can certainly look for a general store. Make an
I would
investigation
like
check.
to find a general store.
Maybe you'll roll higher than a 4, which
Maybe
I think
you'll
is the
find some-
highest investigation check we've had tonight.
If you find a bookstore.
19.
That's higher.
19.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you quickly find
Oh, we gotta
a
find
general
something.
store. It doesn't
Stop
have
biting me.
both.
I think she thinks you're me,
flour is
man.
not something they carry, but he points you very easily to a grocery store like the next door.
Okay.
A market,
They're
more,
Holly, yeah.
not a grocery
Can
store.
I buy
Those
both
aren't
that.
those things from
Yep. So it was flour and what?
ball bearings?
How many?
What size pack do they come in?
Typically 1,000.
How much is 1,000?
I will tell you.
Ooh. Alright.
1 gold.
Okay, I'd like 1,000 ball bearings and a sack of flour.
See if flour is
Alright.
on here, otherwise
Holly,
I have to make up a
go.
price for it. Let's see.
How
Sack
would
is on here for
No,
1
no,
copper.
no.
So I'll say a sack filled with flour will be 2 silver.
Be perfectly spherical.
Okay, so how many silver and a gold?
10. So you lost 1.2 gold.
Okay, thank you, sir. You wouldn't happen to know anyone besides the postal service that mails packages, would you?
Well, it's typically each city has their own, but you might be able to find somebody around who'll be willing to do it for a bit of coin. They may not be as trustworthy as the couriers, but then again, they aren't always that trustworthy either. Sorry I can't be of more help, but that's just how it goes.
Thank you for your aid.
However, as you exit the shop, someone is out there waiting for you. As you exit, they sort of wave and they walk up and they look at a piece of paper in their hand and they sort of hold it up to you and they go, "Are you Jasna?"
Yes. Who are you?
I've got. My name is Dale. It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Dale.
I have a letter for you and a package as well. And he hands you a small crate about that big and a letter.
Okay.
It's from a young miss named Ileana in Aliton.
Excellent.
She wanted me to give that to you, and if that's all, I'll be on my way.
Do you carry mail yourself?
Well, I carry it to you.
What's your rate to go back to Aliton?
I'm heading back there anyway. If there's something you need me to carry, I'm happy to talk with you about it.
Yeah, I have, and I pull out my dragon box. I have this box.
He pulls out his satchel and sort of measures it up. It's a fit, yeah, just about. Sure, I can do that for 2 gold pieces.
Sounds good. And I give him 2 gold pieces.
Thank you very much. And he puts the bag in his satchel, swings it back over his.
Didn't tell him where
his
to
back.
take it.
He said back, or she
Yeah,
said back to
so-
Aliton.
Yeah, but who?
Oh, this goes to.
I mean, he kind of made the assumption that
Okay.
like it was a return to.
Okay, thank you. And I open the.
Okay. He heads off on his way, and the package contains 12 platinum pieces and 40 gold.
Damn.
Nice.
So 160 gold pieces.
Maybe you can buy the couriers here.
I just want to mildly inconvenience them, not own them.
Well, you can mildly inconvenience them by owning them.
And the letter from Ileana basically states business is going well. She's having a little bit of difficulty with new product development. She's mostly able to replicate what you had done before, but she's having a little bit of trouble, like sort of working on her own. However, the wood carver has been helpful in sort of broadening the scope of appearances of the products, though not necessarily the functionality.
Well,
There's no mention in this letter of the guard you sent her way, but given the time frame, you expect he either hadn't gotten there or hadn't been there for long enough to be of mention.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the dragon Opal will give her some new ideas that she can work with.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
I wander back to join them.
So, you guys.
Yeah, we're going to the temple.
Okay. So you travel back to the temple for Vel.
Yeah.
Same deal as typically. The priest is sort of busy at the altar, managing things and talking to another lower level priest as you walk in. But he sees you and greets you.
Hail, priest of Veld. How are you?
Hail, Garrick. I am well, and yourself?
I
Wait.
am well.
Hail, Garrick. I am well. And yourself?
I am well as well.
I'm glad of
You
it.
remember Morthos?
And you, Morthos?
Yeah,
How
as
fare
well.
you?
I fare quite well.
Well, very well.
We have come to claim the rest of our reward for.
Yes, as
compensation.
on that matter, first, have you proof of this beast's slaughter?
We have witnesses of the party that we went forth with.
Can you produce one?
One is a priest of your own. What's his name?
You didn't get a name.
I did get a name from that guy because we shook
yeah, you
hands.
did.
and
Yeah, you did.
We had
Yep.
that conversation thing going.
You see, I don't think
You guys didn't get any fangs?
Well, no, I
He
tried.
basically exploded.
I tried to do that,
Oh.
and he exploded.
That
Yep.
son of a bitch.
See, I actually made the damn check. For God's sake.
I would consider it.
I don't recall the name, but yes, you're right. So he calls up the priest.
Hail, my friend.
Did they indeed dispatch the vampire? Yes.
We also
did.
interviewed him.
All right.
This
Then,
is the same. I'm sorry. This is out of character. This is the same temple that I was at before that I felt.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
and you
this
do
is
still
my- yeah,
feel
belt.
invigorated
Yes.
in its presence. It
Okay.
is a powerful motivator for you.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad to hear that the vampire has been dispatched. However, I understand we lost a number of townsfolk in the process. The temple, as you might expect, is in charge of the funeral costs for all of those poor souls. Unfortunately, given that it was your efforts that caused their deaths, I will have to deduct that from your pay. The cost of the
Right.
funerals was about 200 gold pieces, so in remainder, you receive another It's 300 for the investigation, 600 for the killing, right?
Yeah.
And you receive another. Was it total or individual? I think it was total. So you would receive another 100 gold pieces for your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
May their courage never be forgotten.
Indeed.
May we also, all right, we will take that loss, but maybe also be welcome to browse your library and.
Most certainly.
We will be.
That's a fair trade.
That is a fair
Here
trade.
you are, Morthos. Your share. It's 100 apiece.
We will be faring on our way soon. Any advice you would have us in our journey?
In what direction do you head?
North.
North. If you head that way, the conflict will be broiling ever hotter as you approach the river. The border skirmishes have grown more and more frequent and more ferocious as the war flames on. I would advise caution. If you can, avoid contact with any Danish soldiers, as it simply will raise questions you may not want to answer.
And may Veld protect us.
My friend.
Vel is the name of the priest. Malar is the god.
Malar, I knew that.
Veld, are you gonna protect us
I'll
now?
protect you.
Yes.
Veld. One other boon, if I may. My friend and myself are. Well, my friend is more a devotee of Malar, and I felt a certain pull at this temple myself, looking at your rituals. Do you have anything that might help us remember Malar on our travels?
As far as relics go, unfortunately, we need all of them here. I will see what I can do. Come back before you leave, and I'll see if I can figure something out for you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Very good. Well,
Is
Come,
it
Morthos.
nighttime yet?
Let us look at
Just
the library.
Yes.
We might be able to
we
find
shall.
a little bit more about your god, as well as some things that might be useful for my witchership.
Absolutely.
Witchership, is that even a word?
Sure.
No, it is.
it works.
My witchering.
Witcher
Witchery.
Hood, Witcher
Witchery.
Ship, any of them work.
No, I'm talking about the lore wise, so and the study of lore.
Witcherism.
Witcherism.
Witchery.
No, witchery would be the action.
And a
that's
sweet
form of
metal band.
witchery.
I feel like it would be both.
I can't think of a.
Witcherology.
I can't think of like a canon term for it.
It's
So
definitely
witchership
witcherology.
works. That would be the study of witchers, not the study of witchering.
Witcherology.
Witchering.
Witcher.
Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Witchery.
All right. So, are you all investigating? Are you going to the library?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular?
I'm looking for anything that might help me in my travels, like maybe channeling Malar in some way to help me.
You're gonna have to be more specific than that.
What sort of god is he?
Malar is the god of the hunt.
Heat?
Hunt.
Hunt. Well, I mean, I can always catch prey. Anything that would help me stalk beasts, demons, whatever, my prey.
Sure. Yeah. If you would like to look at for books on hunting tactics, and particularly, are you looking for particular like beasts or fiends or any class of enemy?
Basically any sort of like any sort of larger beasts.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check. So anything you're looking for.
I'm looking for some history of Malar.
Histories?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check as well.
15. I don't know if I have any extra on that.
Well,
Oh, plus 5.
Nice.
ooh, damn son. 11.
So 20 for you, 11 for you. Unfortunately, you find some things, but most of them are just reiterations of your Witcher training. Nothing really new. You, however, with a 20, you're definitely finding some stuff about Malar. The most interesting thing that you can find is that there are no first-hand accounts. There are sort of second-hand accounts, and there are talk of things that people attribute to Malar, but you don't find anything that seems like, Malar spoke to me, or I've had, this encounter with Malar, or a scion of Malar, or anything like that.
It's all anecdotes of others. Interesting.
But for the most part, he does seem to... So, hunt is a little bit broadly interpreted in Malar's domain. And the priests of Malar tend to espouse this aspect of their god. Hunting doesn't necessarily just mean tracking prey in the wilderness. Hunting can truly mean like pursuing any goal broadly, and it tends to be more focused towards the traditional style of hunting. But there are also sort of aspects of Malar that you find out about through anecdotes where he has helped people, achieve political success or achieve, a lover or something like that as well.
I'd like to achieve a lover.
Overall, I'd say the biggest thing that strikes you is the lack of first-hand accounts.
Okay.
I am a witcher, of course I make love.
Sorry.
Where do you think my bestiary comes out from? That's my sick.
All right. So, Ad West Baraskabat, I think.
So I spent the other half of the day praying for the people that died.
Okay.
I rolled a 19, I assume, plus religion.
Mhm.
So it's 23.
Okay. As you are praying to Ogma, is there any particular... Is it just for their souls, or is it...
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in general.
So for a general prayer for the departed, you don't really get like a direct response, but you do feel sort of a warmth fill your body within a couple of hours of your prayers, and you feel that Ogma is there. He's helping watch over them. Okay. Anything else people would like to do before nightfall?
I'd like to pose an idea to the group.
Yes, Jasna.
Hello,
Hey.
welcome back all.
Hail,
I
hail.
think that we should make a group symbol that people associate with us.
I vote
Well, they call
for
us
a
the
cat.
keepers- They call us the Keepers of Fate, so perhaps something to do with fate.
An hourglass, maybe.
Maybe.
An 8-ball.
Or
Yes!
a
An
fate
8-ball.
A ball with an 8 on it.
No, a fate ball.
A
And
fate
it
ball.
has an F and then
That's
an
funny.
8. No, I prefer a cat. It is my Witcher symbol. And
Well, team.
Pretty cool looking.
It has nothing to do with fate
Do you
or
like-
keepers.
Do you like cats?
That has nothing to do
Then
with
it's a cat.
feet.
I reject the premise.
I reject it as well.
Well, then
think
why
I-
don't we have a moose star as our symbol?
I reject that as well.
Yes, I do too.
A gnome?
I
I
think
reject all races.
Wow,
I
that's
think-
racist.
Equally racist against everyone.
because I think that a symbol would help us. So if we, you know,
If we lose our
We're-
way or something.
if we lose our way or we're sending correspondence to each other, we're trying to signal that one of us had been somewhere, but we didn't want to leave.
We could all get matching tattoos.
And we could all get matching tattoos.
I have it. I have an idea.
Your tribe actually probably does tattoos.
Yeah, so
Tattooist?
now you.
That was actually pretty good. That was not bad.
So what we do is we have you kind of cut into the skin and put the ink in,
Eee.
and so it's not just sticking ink in and getting a tattoo. Your skin actually kind of forms a texture, a scar texture there.
That
I
sounds
have an
that
idea.
sounds pretty.
Hard fucking core.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, I think Jasna nods in agreement.
I have an idea. I have an idea.
Yeah, I'll pour acid down someone's throat.
Jazz, now your thoughts gives me inspiration. What if we use this symbol in its entirety? We know it. No one else does. But separately, each of us has a piece of it. That way, we know if we send a message to each other, that symbol is that portion of the symbol is the only one that we know about. So we take the hourglass, split it into 5. Each one of us gets a piece of the symbol, and then say if you're sending us a message, you sign it with your piece of the symbol.
When will we be separated?
I've got ideas, man. I'm an ideas man.
I think
Yeah.
we should be able to use at least part of the symbol though, because I think it'd also be good for publicity with our growing fame to
Yeah.
have a symbol.
What about like
Well, also, if okay, fine. If we
Hands.
use the entire
hands
symbol,
holding an hourglass or a sundial or some symbol of fate?
a sundial is time.
An open hand in a circle.
I mean, hourglasses are
Hourglass
also
is time.
An open hand in a circle could be. That
Open
could be
hand
good.
in a circle? Why?
Maybe
mean like
it
an
doesn't
open hand
translate
in a
well
circle
into
like that?
common.
Like that.
An open hand in a circle.
Within
I-
a circle or a
our
circle
way-
in it?
Circle in
The way-
the open hand.
I've seen some of the art that in other cultures where
Fate as a.
things are. We tend to have simple stuff, so I can carve a 3-dimensional pair of hands holding a thing, right?
Are we at the end?
But if we have,
Yeah, you'll be at the back of the bellowing bear.
but
Oh,
if
yeah.
we see
Definitely
something
having a
that's
beer
been
over
put
this.
onto like a skin, it's usually a flat, almost abstract thing.
Mhm.
We usually don't get into details, so that way, an open hand is easy, and has a few different kinds of meanings, and a circle has a few different kinds.
Could
of
be like a
meanings.
circle with an hourglass inside the circle.
I
And
have
then
an idea.
with the tattoo could just be a circle on our hands with the hourglass.
What if we did
That could be.
both?
That would be pretty cool.
Or on the-
What if we did
Yeah.
both? So our public symbol would
Yeah.
be the open hand, right, with the circle. Our private symbol between the 5 of us would be the hourglass split into 5 pieces for each of us.
Not to interject, Tellen comes over, but you mentioned other cultures and their symbols. I couldn't help overhearing. Oftentimes I see a wheel as a symbol of fate.
Yes,
So
which for us has just been a circle, but a wheel would be.
But it sounds like you all have this handled, and he steps in.
Handle
Oh,
this. See, it is a symbol
We
of
could
fate.
do a wheel.
A
I
wheel
think
would
a
be better
wheel.
than
A spoked wheel.
just a circle.
Yes.
Yes.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
Is that the bartender?
Tellen just starts
Hey,
making up
mama,
a song.
any way you feel.
Hey.
Mama, rock me.
A spoked wheel or a helm.
We break out into song.
'Cause we're like guiding
And-
fate.
Ah.
We're decent.
So,
Like a Kubernetes.
a Kubernetes.
It's a Greek for helm.
I do not know what that is, but that sounds neat.
It's the a ship's wheel.
I've never been on a ship.
Have you
There
seen
is
like the
there's
wheel
a
with like the
spoked wheel
spokes
that has
like,
handles
moving around
that guide the
and stuff?
ship that the captain handles.
You've
I like
seen
So
it.
we are the captains of
Hey,
the ship
You want to
that
use
guides
oars?
fate.
I mean,
He comes over and look
Not if it has
What's there?
sails.
up there. You see that, and what you see is a painting of a captain at the helm of a ship on the wall, and he has the wheel in his arms. and he
You
has-
do know that we're actually talking about that, right?
Yeah,
out
she
of
gets it.
character, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
I
sir.
thought out of character you were like,
No,
wait,
That's some good roleplay.
Yeah.
that's a really good roleplay. You heard me fool.
I don't understand how it works, but that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Easily reproducible again.
So
and
the
again and again.
hands, are they going to be
On the wheel.
on the wheel, or are they going to be presenting the wheel?
It's ideal to keep something pretty simple and obvious.
Let's
So
keep the wheel.
Even if a child scribbles it poorly with charcoal,
Or are there even hands? He
Might
walks
not need
away
to be
again.
hands.
Ah!
Could just be the spoke to
But
helm.
we are the keepers of it. So there has to be some kind of symbol for that.
He's
as
walking
well.
away.
Yeah,
If
the-
if
Yeah, I'm
there's-
talking to the group.
If there's 5 spokes on the helm, maybe one of our hands on each of the spokes.
well, our
well, that
party
makes it
can
more
grow and diminish.
complicated. Yeah.
And we may be more than just our party.
So how
We've
about
got a
this?
whole town work with us on something.
It's fair.
We could do matching wheel tattoos on our hands, so our hands are part
Well,
of
The helms are there.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I would hesitate from that because if in case we need to be stealthy, that might help us get discovered.
It's really hard to get employed when you
Is
have
there-
visible tattoos.
Is
like
there
that.
makeup in this
That's what's
world?
holding me back.
You probably
That.
lose mine.
The
Is there
tattoos
makeup
right
in this
here.
world?
And
Alright.
There's also gloves.
We could cover them
Yeah,
up.
but they people, if the symbol is going to publicize us, people will have it travel over. Is my issue.
Fair.
And
But no matter
as
where
a
we
Witcher,
put
I
it-
want to keep everything low key.
wherever we put it, if somebody's looking for it, they're going to ask us
Not
to take
Thor.
off that pair of clothing. So if we're wearing gloves, they'll ask us to take off gloves. If we're wearing a shirt and it's on our back, they'll ask us to take off the shirt.
Exactly.
So
So,
this-
let's keep the symbol.
So we agree on the wheel.
I am neither stealthy nor ever clothed.
See, they'd see it on Cranmore.
Well, they
I
also
am,
notice
I am
it.
of the age where I start taking tattoos for my life journey.
to be fair, they might not be like, look for people with helm tattoos. They might be like, look for the people that has the tiefling and the moose tar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Asimar.
Yeah, and the Asmar.
And the
Tiefling
Witcher.
and the moose.
And a gnome. Like, those
It's very
together.
The gnome,
Normal.
at least appearance-wise, is the most normal
Yeah.
of all of you.
A Witcher and gnome, a
What is
Tiefling
a
and
rat
Asmar
gnome?
walk into a bar.
They're just like darker skinned. They tend
Oh, okay.
to gravitate and live in rockier, craggy
Okay.
areas.
Well, so
We could just get a flag with our symbol if no one else wants to get tattoos.
let's keep the
I
wheel as
like
our
the
symbol,
tattoo.
and I still vote for the secret symbol of the hourglass that we split up for correspondence.
I like the wheel now.
I like the wheel as well. I
The
mean,
wheel, the helm,
we
or the wheel?
publicize the wheel.
For correspondence sake, I don't know. I
Wheel and hourglass and
don't
hand
think that
are
it's
all
worth concealing.
classic symbols along the lines of what we're talking about.
Well, Norwin, let me tell you this. Say if our
I don't
party,
think it's worth concealing the identity of one of us. If somebody knows that it's going to a keeper of fate, then what does it matter which one?
agreed. It is going to a keeper of fate from a keeper of fate.
You know, your secret boy club language doesn't have to have anything to do with your sigil as a whole. Walks away again.
Yeah.
Where does he keep coming
Also, I can just send messages
Cyberspace.
to anybody on any plane of existence at will.
This
You
could
can.
also be
Language.
This could also,
Not plane.
Yeah, you don't necessarily
Yeah.
get planes, but it's
You
otherwise.
can.
not to mention, this might not just be the symbol of us. If this starts to catch on, this could be the symbol of the rebellion.
Could be a
Or-
Yeah, so let's keep the wheel, but let's keep the hourglass as our personal symbol when we identify to each other.
Okay, so we're going with the wheel for the public symbol.
Is there any addition to the wheel or just the wheel?
God, just a wheel, man.
I think just Just to,
Okay.
is
Just
there
that.
anything in this world that has a wheel as its primary symbol?
Make an intelligence check.
They have all sorts of.
Oh God, only an 8.
Oh, there's the Wheel Guild.
There's wheel.
Can't we imagine that it would be like the Navy or something like?
So that's kind of like not that you have heard of. You've heard like you certainly have some notion of the Navy, but as far as you know, their sigil is not a helm. It might be like a sail, or you don't know, maybe it's an oar or a rowboat or an anchor. There
But
could
it
be some
could
other
be.
symbology.
There-
It might be associated with.
We're
the Navy.
aware that there could be.
Yes.
We could have something written around the wheel.
We could get sued.
What? Oh, like
From a
like
tailor?
we have an outline of a helm and we have
From a
like
tailor?
Yeah,
a
like
motto.
Yeah, like a motto inside. What would our
What's a
motto
motto
be?
with
We are the keepers of fate.
We could go Crate of
the
a
faith.
Bar
So
for a
corny.
good motto.
Duck and cover.
Keep the fate no matter the cost.
I like it. How about that? Keep
What?
the fate no matter the cost.
It takes a long time to say.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can put a pin in this and I'll think about it, and then we can.
So now
Come
we're
back to
drawing
it.
the
Yeah,
wheel
come
with
back
the
to
it.
pin.
Yes.
I like the helm, and maybe we think about the.
Inscription.
Yeah. So are
I'll
we-
also say, if you're using just the helm, I think that works fine because if you're steering a ship with a helm, you're already steering fate, right? So you get the fate from the wheel, and then you get the steering from the fact that it's like a ship's helm. It walks away again.
Hey, barkeep.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Do you know of any organizations that use the wheel as their
Oh,
symbol?
let me just make an intelligence check here.
Make an intelligence.
All right.
Well, I rolled
let
pretty
us
well,
note-
but as to my extensive knowledge, I
Let
can't
us
think
note
of any
our
offhand.
sigils.
Well, what sigils?
I was really hoping
We
you were
haven't
going to say
just.
the Wheel Guild.
Or the private one.
No, I was thinking of starting a wheel guild, and really, if I could be telling the truth, I was hoping to use that sigil, but you all seem in more dire need of it than I.
I really want to get to like level 20, and we're like really like we're really well known. We have this
And
like
somebody from the
symbol,
wheel
and then
guild
somebody
comes
from
and like,
the wheel
you've
guild-
been subpoenaed.
Hey, we're
Our final boss is just the wheel guild. Who's magically stole their symbol.
Oh, that's great!
and the wheel guild.
No, my plot. I must rewrite it.
The wheel guild is headed by Wheelie and the gang.
No, it's held
So-
by BMX Bandit.
Oh God.
And he's gonna call Angel Man.
We're not affiliated with Angel Man or BMX Bandit, nor the TV network that created it. Was it a TV thing?
I think
It
it's
was a
just
skit in a
No,
TV
it's just
series,
YouTube,
right?
Great
yeah.
show, and I recommend it to everybody.
Yes, it's a great show, but they do not recommend us nor endorse us in any way, shape, or form.
They should.
Okay. Well, maybe by the time we get to Cryptro,
Opytro.
Opytro, we will have come to
Planar
consensus.
travel to Krypton.
We will have come to consensus.
Wusa.
Well, I mean, maybe he could
Whosa,
turn into
whosa.
some Krypton.
I'm a little worried about being the last one to. I want to polish this off, you know.
Brian doesn't look like he cares.
Brian's a gentleman.
We're getting to that point where someone's got to make a tough decision.
I have like twice the size of bottle of that at home, so.
You just refill it?
Okay,
Just
so is it
refill it or
nighttime?
what?
We're going to sleep, and we're going to do
No,
a little more
I
tomorrow
just
before
bought
the.
It is evening.
Okay.
And in the night, you were all visited by genius mottos.
But
What's
what?
the motto with you?
Genius mottos.
E pluribus unum.
Hakuna Matata.
Actually, it wouldn't be a bad one
It
for
would be
you
really good
guys.
Why
if we
not,
weren't
right?
taken.
What does it mean?
E
From one
pluribus
From many.
Oh,
From many
Sorry,
one.
from many one.
Well, it's
It's
not
a
taken
motto
in
of the
this
president.
world.
Oh shit.
There we go.
Yeah, but is Latin known in this world?
We can just say in common from many one.
That's true.
Ah.
That's true.
We could translate
Why
it to
are we
Sylvan to look
running?
pretentious.
Sylvan is just Latin.
Is it?
That's often how I do it, but it doesn't have to be.
Non, c'est français.
Oh.
No,
That is French,
French is French is undercommon. No.
French is ogre.
enough.
I feel like French is Elvish.
Ah.
That's good.
Would make sense.
I'd agree.
See.
Okay.
What is Spanish?
Okay, so we wake up.
We're not gonna do this with everything.
We
Right,
wake
right.
up and
So-
are all of our.
Whoa! The night has not.
When the night has passed.
Okay, you wake up and it's morning and nothing terrible happens. You lucky fucks.
Oh no, butterflies!
We slept in an
No
inn.
butterflies.
Civilization doesn't mean safety.
Yeah.
Hail, barkeep.
You just fought a vampire like a few miles from the city.
Sure.
Yep.
Hail, barkeep.
Oh, well, what's up, Witcher?
What do you recommend for your breakfast?
The most expensive thing on the menu.
Thump. Puts out a basket of cheese and bread.
Do you have anything?
I'm not a morning person.
Do you have bacon?
You want to cook it?
Can I get a discount for cooking it?
Nope.
I'm gonna go look at some berries and
Here's some cheese.
Oh, I actually
Cranmore.
have some of those.
vegetables.
He pulls out a bag.
Cranmore, are you
That's
It's
why
like a
I
little-
love the cauliflower you like so much.
This is where you got it. Can they do it again?
It's a burlap sack, and the berries are probably like a day or two old, like past their prime, but they're fine.
Vinegary.
I joined in with him.
Do what again?
Oh, do you
Morthos,
have
would you like some
cauliflower
bacon?
that you use the
I'll
flame
eat the
torch
cheese
on?
and bread. I'm good with that.
You want me to crisp
You know what?
cauliflower
Bacon.
again?
I'm making bacon.
All right.
It's caramelized and it was good.
All right.
Yeah, a little salt on there.
Can
is
you
amazing.
caramelize
Can I?
cauliflower? Doesn't it require
Can I
sugar?
use my survival to do
does.
the bacon?
It doesn't have a whole lot of sugar in it.
Yeah.
All right.
He's burning the cauliflower. Just kind of sets it on fire and lets it go for a minute or so.
It's a little too much.
my friends,
Pats it out. Hands you on like still in the pan. It's like this fried like.
Just scrape off the really burnt crust part. And okay, this bit. Okay, thank you.
Not a morning person. Sorry.
I take one of his choppers and I chop the bacon into like a big bunch of hunks.
Mhm.
I'm like, my friends, would you like some?
Have you cooked it yet?
Yes.
Oh. Well,
You didn't say
did
that,
you roll
to be
for,
fair.
Did you roll your survival check?
No, because I get that survival thing. That's what I was gonna use.
Oh,
right,
it's
to make
no.
it.
That's not for cooking, though.
That's not for cooking. That's for gathering.
Oh, because I never
It
really
would
roll
actually
for
it
cooking.
really more be performance.
Ooh, not so good.
9
Oh, I thought that was a
Plus-
3.
Who's got a good medicine check?
It is
Me.
palatable bacon.
plus.
Sorry about the salmonella.
Thing.
2.
9. Oh, you know it's a 9. Does the other one got
9.
it?
Yeah, the other one.
Oh,
has
the 6 has the underline.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's 9.
All right,
Yeah, bacon.
it's passable bacon.
All right, we eat. This is sustaining.
My character just loves to eat. I'm sorry.
Well, I've got some things I would like to get done today. I am going to go find books, and actually, I'm terrible at finding things here. Is someone? Have any of you guys found any places to buy
Wait,
books around here?
Books. It's literally just left when you leave the door.
Did you go right again,
I
Cranmore?
must have gone right past it half a dozen times. Thank you very much.
It's all right. It's a bit of a hole in
Left.
the wall.
When you make the L with your hand, L is left.
Oh shit! I'm
Which
sorry.
hand?
Right when you leave the. No, I'm kidding. No, it is left.
So
I'm
with
just-
Sylvan, our L
God,
sound doesn't come
Matt.
from this shape, but okay.
I mean, Cranmore, are
It
you
doesn't
sure
comment
you're
enough.
using the correct hands?
Ah shit.
Is that a hook joke?
Yeah.
I got it.
Alright,
I'm
yeah,
gonna-
it's
Yeah,
a bit
you
of a
got
hole in
4
the
of
wall.
them.
Don't feel too bad about
No,
this, isn't it?
Alright, so that's one of.
He busted a hole in the wall once.
So I'm gonna just
I'm
go.
not surprised.
So that's my first order of business for the day. That's
Okay.
two things I'm gonna do.
All right, so you head to the bookstore, which is easy to find this time around because you've been given directions.
Right. And we don't
Um,
have to role play through all this if we want to just move through, but it's the same conversation as in the last place of if they have any books to donate, I want to take them to the orphanage. Go
You not
there,
gonna
read some of the
any
books.
yourself?
Read some books. Read some of the books there with the children and leave the books there.
all right, they managed to pull 12 books together. It's not a ton, but it's something. They're older tomes, and actually a couple of them are actually like children's stories, which is nice because the last one was not.
Can they inscribe at least one of the books of where it's from, so that the children know.
They write in
All
all
that.
the covers. It's wait. It's strange. I never thought about doing this myself before. I'll definitely keep an eye out now. If I come upon any other books I don't need,
Thank you.
I'll do much the same with them. I think.
Excellent. Yeah, if there's any that just aren't selling or you just want to get rid of, we've been moving in some of the other cities. I've been bringing books to orphanages and schools where they enjoy them. They keep them moving.
If you'd like more, I can't quite part with them for free, but I'd be happy to offer you a discount.
Okay, how much?
She points to a shelf that has a pretty wide assortment of sort of like fictional books, children's novels, even like a few sort of like basic like artistic books, how-tos.
Oh yeah.
Say 5 copper for each.
Do I have 5 copper on me? Group? Do I get an allowance?
Here, you can have some of mine.
Oh, are we with you?
Shit. Okay.
Sorry, this is sort of a.
You definitely
Something
have 5 copper on you.
Okay.
You're either with him or you're right near him, so it'd be easy for him to get some.
Okay. So. Yeah, thank you. Here's 5 copper. I'll take these also. And we have.
Sorry, five copper per.
For how
each
many
book.
how many books are we talking about?
There's probably like 80 or so on the shelf.
80. How many can I carry?
So 400 copper
Why don't
would
you
be
have them send it over?
4 gold. No, that's not.
How
right.
many?
40 gold.
So if I can carry 2 dozen more for a total of 3 dozen.
Cranmore, hold
No,
on.
it's 4 gold.
My
Yeah,
friend,
it's 4
my
gold,
friend.
I thought.
How much would it be to deliver all of these to Cranmore's place of choosing?
Well,
We
I'm
have
gonna
to
go
go
there
there
right
and read
now.
it.
It's not so much the cost as it is the time.
Yeah, I'm going there.
Well, I hate to presume, but you could likely carry a cart, couldn't you?
Yes, I could.
In one hand.
Helen has a cart. You
Okay.
could load it up and take them if he's willing to loan it to you.
All right, thanks. That sounds great too. So I'll take all the books if you're willing to sell them all.
Of course.
And do they have your stamp or mark on the inside of them so that it's clear where they're from?
So she writes in each of the books that she already did like an abbreviated version,
Yeah.
and then as she's loading, it's like a very quick, just like one swipe, and it's the symbol that she'd like to use, and she loads them all
Right.
up.
So
So I'm hoping that this will encourage
I
folks to
roll-
come back to you if you
I
have
roll
books
an
you wanna put
18 for stealth to do something
Okay, what you doing?
that I don't want the rest of the party to know.
Text me.
Okay.
in. So
Did
load
the
cart.
text come through? No.
Thank you. Can you point me to the orphanage?
Oh, of course. And actually, I'll walk there with you.
All right. And there's one other person I'd like to see that may not be at the orphanage. There's this little girl whose father was a guard, and he did not make it back, but her mother is around. I'd like to find them too. Is there? Where do the guards live? Because I'm sure that they have the separate housing.
The guards themselves do stay in the barracks, but most of the
Right.
families do not. Do you happen to know the little girl's name?
I can't remember it.
Elia.
That's right. I'm supposed to remember because it's my cousin's daughter's name. It's Ilya. Yeah. So her name was Ilya, but if you know a little girl named Ilya.
I do, in fact.
Really?
No
Okay.
lie, she's an avid reader. She comes in here almost every day.
All right. Well, I'll stop there first, and maybe she can join me to the
So
orphanage too.
Are we all allowed to
Do
do
you
that?
know where she lives?
Yeah, you
I
can all go with him.
Do you know where she lives?
No.
Yes.
Like secret stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So my plan is to stop off at Ilya's house, talk to her, and then see and give her a couple of the books. I also have a wood carving to give her, and of a little soldier.
Okay.
And then I'd like to see if she wants to join me to the orphanage for a book reading and hand out books.
Cranmore.
If she doesn't want to join me, that's fine. Then I'll still go there and read some books for the day. And that's that'd be my day.
Okay.
Have you seen the Danish soldiers' crests of arms? You might want to use your newfound carving skills to carve that into.
Maybe.
He was not a Danish soldier. He was a guard of the city. of Fort
Yeah,
Stone.
and I'm just gonna do a simple.
I thought he was a Danish soldier.
I'll just do a simple carving rendering of a guard.
Not all of the. So there were a few Danish soldiers who came with you, but not all of the sort of elite who came with you were Danish soldiers. There was a
Gotcha.
mix.
So, in the interest of time, we don't have to roleplay all
Sure.
that out. You guys want to get to other parts of your story?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Matt. Before we leave,
Mhm.
wouldn't have to resolve now.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else want to do anything during the day? Does anyone else have any more business in Fort Cell?
There's only one other thing, and that's to just let Brogan know that thank you for the tip. We are gonna go up to Opytro ourselves, and how do I find the Thieves Guild when I'm there? Like, is there a sign that I can look for? Can you like make a mark or something? What do I look for? How do I
For the
find them?
Thieves Guild particularly?
Is it easy to find, or is there something I need to know?
Well, I'm not sure if they're right in Opytro, but if they were, your best bet would be.
I should look around here a little bit more.
Give me just a moment to recall. I recall.
What about you, Morrazun?
Your best bet, if you're looking for someone in the Thieves Guild, would be a small hole-in-the-wall tavern. It's called the Barbarian's Arms. You'll know it. The sigil out front is a big, muscular arm holding an axe. It should be relatively easy to find. When you're there, ask for Ginger.
Is she from Canada?
Hmm?
Is she from Canada?
No?
Why would she be from Canada?
Maybe she's a little dry.
Oh.
Thank you. Okay, and that's everything Craymore cares about in Fort Cell. All the stuff listed.
Alrighty.
Alright, so I'm still gonna stay over there.
Yeah, so, anybody else? Jasmine, are you doing anything?
Can I work on another project and just roll to see how much I get done on it?
Yeah, what are you working on? Are you working on your wings, or?
Yeah, wings.
Sure. Can spend the day working on it.
Okay. I think I get to roll a d10.
Are we planning on
9.
leaving in the morning?
Okay. I think that's the idea, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned that people look upon us and they're just remembering an ugly vampire fight. Like to move on because
The sooner we get out, the better.
yeah, they don't need to be reminded by seeing us.
Alrighty. Yeah, alright. I think if nobody else has anything really to do that day, actually, Jasmine, you can roll 2d10.
Okay. 5 is the second one.
Okay. Yeah, because you're spending a full day rather than just a long your time during a long rest investigating it, so you get a little more progress. Cool. Alright. So, night falls once again, and Talon affords you your rooms. The night passes without difficulty, and the morning you wake up.
Hail Morthos, I'd like to talk to you.
Okay.
Away from the party. I have purchased a rare tome. You guys don't know this. I purchased a rare tome that I believe might aid us on our quest. But I'm hesitant to share it unless we have tangible knowledge. Would you help me in understanding this tome?
It's not in a language you can't read. It's,
I can
it's
read it?
legible to you, yeah.
Sweet.
I look through and say, dude, you can read this.
Bruh, this is in common.
Are you sure?
There's a flourish to the
Do
penmanship.
you say that out loud? Or loud enough for us to hear?
I whisper it.
I thought you would be able to help me with your interpretive skills,
It was
man.
in that moment that Morthos realized he's never actually watched Garrick read something. What if
The
what
book
if he's illiterate?
is called... Reginald's?
Reginald. You can read.
Reginald's daring. Sorry, I had something in my eyes. It was Morthos's slobber. What is this story about? Let us see. Anything to do with some tales of the scouring or something dark side?
Maybe Tales of Oldest Time.
Beauty and the Beast? Fine. I was always a beast in that story, you know.
Okay.
Lights.
Oh, yeah.
Starting to get dark.
Yep. Please do.
Sorry.
All right. So as far as the coming day goes, where exactly are you all headed?
Whoa! Right. Opytro.
So you are heading north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, we have people
well-
and horses. Right?
Yeah, we want to grab our horses.
Yes,
We don't want to leave them.
Oh, yeah.
I would like Mr. Nut back.
Okay.
I'm not telling you to keep calling me that.
I mean, he can hear it.
I've updated my
Ah,
journal.
Mr. Nut, how are you?
You've updated.
My journal too.
Yes. Yeah, the reading does go quite
Shoot.
well.
I had this too. I need a replacement journal. Did the bookstore have a replacement, a new journal, an empty journal that I could start filling in?
Yes.
Right.
Silver.
All right. Let's just assume that gets added in, and as soon as I part with one, I'll then start putting in the new one.
Okay.
So is this similar to like Sun Tzu, basically?
In what way would it be?
Military tactics, stuff like that.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't. I thought you were referencing what he was saying. I was like, what?
No, you're totally
Ish.
Sun Tzu, yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it might help me like plan some group tactics and all. Okay, fair enough. Sweet. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Okay.
Spent 70 gold on this puppy.
Alrighty. So, heading out, you all are going northward, following what map you have to make your way from Fort Cell up north to Opytro. Just straight shot? Is that the thought?
Yeah. We should be careful. I hear tales of more violence up north than what we've experienced.
What is in Opytro?
A troll.
That is where we can find passage down the river.
Let us also take.
That's
Because
where
we're trying to get here.
that's where Veld told us to go to get passage down the river.
my friends, let us also take some supplies. Like food.
We also don't know what direction the river goes yet. Still,
Yes.
I don't believe.
We need to find a harbor master, if you will. And harbor master, is that what they're called over
A
here?
boat captain.
Boatswan. A boatswan.
A bosun is not the same thing. A bosun is someone who works on the ship. I believe they...
Row?
No, bosuns I think tend to masts. But I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I
Wait.
brushed up on my
I
nautical
was just saying
terminology.
a boat captain.
Starboard port.
If you were looking for the person who actually
Leases
like-
the boats.
who dealt with the quay or the port
dock
itself,
yeah.
then you'd be looking for a harbor master.
Harbor
or,
master.
Is Opytro like an actual city? Or
It's
just
a town.
But there would
So
be
we-
someone that could exchange goods, because I'm thinking we might have to sell some of our jewels to afford a boat.
You might also want to change your
We're not
platinum
behind
into
the
something
boat,
a
right?
little
We're just
more
getting passage.
Trade-worthy.
Change what?
Your platinum into something a little bit more trade-worthy, like gold.
I think anybody will
yeah.
accept platinum. It's
No,
not-
anybody will accept platinum, but the problem is exchange-wise, like they might not have enough money to give for platinum. Is that the case, Matt?
It's possible.
So gold is
I
more.
think we do
easier.
have plenty of golds though.
We have plenty of gold and stuff.
Alright, fair enough.
Like we have I have 945 gold pieces.
I'm spending it as fast as I know how, so that we're not burdened by this.
You're not gonna be burdened by anything, Cranmore. You are only burdened with glorious purpose, my friend.
All right, so it'll take you about 4 days of travel.
Let us also get a leg of plan.
Are we doing the overworld thing?
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 7 for active perception.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I've got a 22 for survival.
22. Wow. Okay.
I would like to be the scout in the front with my acrobatics. Just climbing on the trees, looking around.
There are no trees. This is a
Oh.
plain.
Oh. So we're all planeswalkers, I guess.
What are you rolling for?
There's not really much
Oh.
for you to roll for. He rolled the perception. That's kind of how this. I mean, if you would prefer to take over, you could have that conversation with Norwin. But as far as like overworld travel has gone, so far it's been Norwin taking the sort of scouting position and Cranmore finding the path.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm open to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I just
very
thought
possible
I
that you
do
guys
have,
want to
like-
be like, oh no, like let's switch it up a bit.
I might have advantage on the trees if I can just use my acrobatics to climb up, but there are no trees, so there you go.
Okay.
When
Cool.
there are trees, call me.
Remind me what your perception was.
7.
7 total. Okay. All right.
I thought I saw a tree.
Tree? Tree?
Oh,
Where are you, tree?
That's really good. All right. Okay, so the first day goes, and you travel a good ways towards your destination, and then about 4 p.m. or so, Cranmore, you actually notice something as you're scouting up ahead. There seems to be a stone structure of sorts that is covered, overgrown in sort of a scrubby area. So while there isn't too much like vegetation, there are sort of shrubs here and there, and one of them seems a little bit denser, and you catch a hint of stone underneath.
What time of day is it? Evening?
Early evening, late afternoon.
All right, so this could be cover for camp. This could be is this worth investigating?
It's relatively small from afar. It looks maybe 8
Do you want to
feet
keep going up
across.
or avoid
I
it?
want to see how many people.
Can we?
What is it?
There's the foliage gets a bit dense over there, and there's some kind of stony looking structure.
Outcropping? Can I see it? If you point it out?
Yeah, if he points it out, you can sort of see it.
I'm
it's-
just seeing that the foliage is getting the pattern of
Thicker.
foliage is changing.
It's
Yeah,
hard to
sure.
pick out detail. You can't quite tell from this distance if it's naturally occurring or not.
I think we should check it out.
Can I use my
Might as
cool
well.
shades
You
to
can.
do something?
Mhm.
Sweet. I am going to
So it gives you
look
advantage
in
on
like
research.
cool shades.
Enhance.
Yeah, like one of those damn CIA shows, right? Enhance blurry image.
2.
You get
Inspiration.
advantage on them
Yeah, advantage.
with the.
Oh, nice.
16
What are you looking
plus...
He's trying to figure out more about it.
Three.
Oh, he's doing perception?
Tell me, Legolas, what do your elf I see?
They see that it is almost certainly man-made. You see carving, like not like carved into the stone, but the stones are themselves carved, and it seems to sort of be, at least from the depth that you can get from this angle, it looks to be semicircular.
Wait a second, guys. Sorry. Eyes were blurry. Alright, I see... It seems like a structure of some sort made by people. Not natural. It
How
seems
can
like...
you tell?
It seems like these stones are carved.
Also,
Let us...
they just sort of pop up in the middle of nowhere in a very organized looking way.
Exactly. Let us use discretion and keep our wits about us
Jasmine says let's check it out.
while we go.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I
check it out.
literally said that.
Okay, who's taking point?
I shall because I can see.
Okay. So Garrick, you approach these shrubs.
Come, Morthos.
And as you approach closer, you could see it's a full circle, and it seems to be a well of sorts. And you pull aside some of the brambles and shrubbery that sort of sticks in your way. And as you get a clearer vision of it, you see it's many feet deep. It goes down maybe 30, 35 feet before you can't see any further down. Because maybe the well ends, or maybe it takes a turn. It's difficult to say for sure. But there is water in it, and the water comes up maybe about 15 feet from that bottom. And you catch the slightest hint of glimmers at the bottom of the well.
Morthos,
Is there a bucket?
There's not.
There's what?
There is not a bucket.
Okay.
It looks like there may once have been one, but there is not any longer. You see sort of a frayed and broken rope.
throw.
Is that bag of holding?
I don't suppose I have a jug
What
that
do
we
you
can
say?
use.
A
If we
torch
tie it to a
down
rope.
just to see, just to make sure there's nothing else in there.
Okay. As the torch falls, it hits the water and sizzles out. But before it does, you do catch in the firelight the glimmer of several coins at the bottom of this well. Mostly they are gold, some are silver, some are copper, and you even see one or two glints of platinum.
Is there any religious
I can
symbolism
I
along the
detect
stone?
magic.
Yes, good job.
Like a
Norman.
wishing well?
So you don't see any religious symbology, but well, go ahead and are you detecting magic on it? Okay. There is a slight hint of
Okay,
it.
Norman.
It doesn't adhere to any particular school, but there is a slight hint of magic on the well.
Simply nature.
There's some magic down there.
I want to throw a silver down it.
Okay.
I toss them.
Do you have anything in mind as you
Oh,
do?
yeah.
I
I wish my mule could fly.
You have a mule?
I'm on a
She
mule.
does.
Yeah, she's on a mule.
Oh, right.
Instead of a horse, because it was
got a
cheaper.
donkey.
She could fit.
Alright. Gotta take
I
some
forgot that
notes.
you had a mule instead of a horse.
It's a
Mueller.
handsome thing.
Mueller.
It's going to fly not in a way that you want.
And it's not happy about it.
Its feet sprout like Hermes wings. That's like really awkward.
Little wing sandals.
I don't know how to control this.
You do not respect your mule's autonomy.
Oh god, the mule's gonna get flying.
Respect my
It
autonomy.
doesn't. Nothing happens immediately. Nothing changes.
Okay.
But your wish is made.
I wish. I dropped a gold in there. I wish for a giant roasted wreck of lamb in my hands. No, on the floor over here in a plate. And it is palatable,
How
not
much did you put down?
a gold. One roasted rack of lamb. Well done, well seasoned.
I wish for
Little
more
bit
wishes.
of cumin.
I wish I had
a
all
little
those coins at the
paprika.
bottom.
I really hope like. Wait, never
Okay.
mind. That's not a wishing.
Your wish is made.
Anything happens?
Nope, not immediately.
I don't think this thing works.
I throw down 5 gold. I say, I wish to know how you work.
Make a religion check for me.
I throw one.
Ooh, crit fail.
Okay.
Does the well just open up its mouth and just say no?
Is there anything I could divine with Arcana knowledge about it?
Make an Arcana check.
23.
You are quite sure that you've never encountered anything like this.
Arcana check. It's like, whoa, he should have passed the religion
Clearly,
check.
Paul.
However, what you do get is that magic like this seldom works in the way you expect.
Ooh, oh no. Guys, we need to stop making wishes.
I'm going to toss a gold down there and wish for better insight.
Okay. Let's see here.
Better insight just in general.
Was it how? What did you toss? A gold?
Yeah, gold.
Man, you know what? I wish for.
Toss another gold.
Can I do one more?
You could certainly try.
Okay.
I wish I had a better wish.
I'm gonna toss a gold down, and I'm gonna wish for the coolest, sleekest green hat.
Oh!
This is a very engineering approach to this.
I wish
Engineering
to be the very best that no one ever was. At witchery.
How much are you gonna give it though?
2 gold.
I don't think you're gonna do the best in anything for 2
Oh,
gold.
okay, fine. I wish. Damn it! I need something 2 gold worthy. Damn it.
You've already made it.
I'm gonna take one of my own carvings that I spent time on and worked on. I'm gonna put it in there, and I am going to wish for wisdom for the other 4 people in my party for the next
Year.
Until we get to at least until we get through.
Well, shit! You never told me we
Through
could put other things.
Opytro and up the and along the river. On our way through Opytro. So wisdom 2 and through Opytro for the party.
Does that mean I can get more than
Now
+5?
it wasn't a coin, so
I will
that might
throw
not
my cool staff.
That's
Or
what
it could be
that's what I've
even
got
more
to
because
give.
No,
you
not my
gave,
cool stuff.
like,
It's what I've got to
throw
give.
my.
Yeah.
What is that? Screw that. I'm going down there.
What kind of cliff
You
bar
are?
is that?
Right, that's what I'm
It's just not a
Hey,
cliff bar.
friends, I would like. Oh, actually, I do want to see this.
It's like
What
much
is this?
soft and
Crunchy
Leviathan? Elevation?
Elevation.
Oh, elevation.
Leviathan.
Okay,
It's from Aldi.
nice.
Aldivation.
Okay.
I want to try one of those.
Is there anything else
I'm gonna
before
try-
we just
go to
move
all
on
the
from
Well,
what
he just
maybe-
said he's jumping down there.
I'm thinking of jumping
I did
down
not
there.
say
my
that.
Nope.
friends.
You said you jumped down there. Make an
Did you-
acrobatics
wait,
check.
I will try to make an acrobatics check to stop him.
Go for it. Oppose it.
Okay.
19.
Cocked.
19.
That was cocked.
No, it's cocked.
I got a 17 plus 6 is 25.
Plus 7.
We got 24.
What was your total?
We both have 17s, but I only get a plus 6 to mine.
Okay.
And he's got a plus 7.
All right.
I just circumvent you.
Barely misses him.
All right. So you watch as the Witcher leaps into the well, and Cranmore tries and grabs out at him, but misses. So Garrick,
Only
you
grab
drop
the
into
capability.
the.
I wish for wisdom.
Is he drowning or anything?
Note that it takes a while for wishes to get granted.
We're getting there.
So I look pensively at the fountain. What will you give us in return for 1 Garrick?
Damn!
But we didn't give him.
Oh!
I give you myself. Well,
I wish for more power.
Did you see my text?
No, I did not.
You should look at your texts.
The contract is sealed.
Did you see the thing I showed? Oh,
Garrick, as soon as you hit the water, you are pulled downward by an unseen force, and you are now at the bottom of the well. I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
oh shit. Damn it. 18 plus con, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plus 4.
Okay, you manage to keep your breath as you are yanked down into the depths of this. As you reach the bottom, the light above you becomes obscured, and it becomes difficult to see even with your dark vision, your friends above you. You do see a small channel leading off to the side in the bottom of this well.
I follow it.
Okay?
I throw down. I've been holding this necklace of adaptation.
Okay.
Garrick, I say, catch. Put it on.
You can't hear anything.
Oh,
I was
God.
gonna say, can you hear?
Do I see something coming down?
You said you followed the chamber.
Oh, never mind then.
Aw,
Aw.
you lost it.
Aw.
What do you want for the necklace of adaptation?
Oh.
1 carrot.
I want my wings to be finished.
Can I see anything else over there?
With your your dark vision, you
like
can
underneath.
see.
No, I want to see like obviously I jumped in for the treasure.
Mhm.
Do I see anything underneath? Yeah,
What do you mean by underneath?
Like before I go in, like down the stuff that was glimmering.
Yeah, you see the coins.
Is there anything cool looking over there?
Over
At the bottom of the well, where I'm at.
there are coins. And a channel.
Nothing other than coins?
Nothing. Well, what else did you all throw in? Someone threw in the...
I just threw in a necklace.
Well, and Cranmore threw in a wood carving.
I examine the carving just to see if there was anything changed about it.
It is incredibly difficult to pull up. Make a strength save.
Oh.
Or make a strength check.
Oh, okay. 5.
Doesn't come up. You can inspect it visually.
So this thing is... I'm thinking to myself. So this thing is not coming out. Okay. I shall not try with the other things then.
Visually, it looks pretty much the same. It looks like it did when Cranmore made it. Threw it down. Make another con save.
It's
Follow
a,
the channel.
just for color, it's a bird.
That's a 6.
6. Well, I know it's a 6, but like, well, actually, yeah, it's a 6.
Plus.
Plus 3. Plus
9.
4. 9. 10.
No.
Okay. You are beginning to feel the breath getting pressured against your chest.
It's
Okay.
plus 4.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said plus 3.
And then I said plus 4.
Oh.
You still gave me a 9 as the total.
Oh, 10.
Okay.
I heard him correctly.
Oh, I did not. Sorry. Okay. So, yeah, actually, you're with a 10, you're managing to keep your breath on you.
Okay.
You're still okay.
I walk through the channel.
Okay.
Channeling.
Swim for the most
Well,
part. Okay. It goes back about 15 or 20 feet before it abruptly seems to end.
Kate says, "Friends, let us investigate with discretion."
All right. I
Should've
try to
told
see
this
if
in
there's any
time.
openings. Try to surface up.
Surface up. You're in a channel. There's nothing above you but rock.
Oh, okay. So I feel around to see if there's anything.
Make an investigation check.
18 plus. No,
19.
19 plus. 1? Or is it a saving? No, it's not a saving throw. 1.
20.
Okay. As you're feeling around, you notice you sort of touch each of the walls in turn, sort of trying to figure out what's going on with this chamber. And you reach in front of you and sort of up and to the left, and your hand passes through.
I push my hand in even more.
Okay. Yeah, it seems to be an illusion.
The wall is an illusion.
That section of it.
I try to climb into it.
Okay,
Whatever.
yeah, you're able to make it through, and as you pull your head through, you find yourself in a dome-shaped chamber about 17 feet tall and maybe about 40 feet in diameter.
Is it air?
It is not.
Okay, I climb up into it.
Okay, I'd like you to make another con save.
14 plus
1, right?
4.
Oh, 4.
Okay.
18.
And what is your constitution modifier? This is going to
2.
become important soon. Okay.
But he has proficiency in a saving throw.
Yeah.
It's so the number of minutes you can hold your breath underwater is your con modifier. So the saving throws are because you're making these difficult actions underwater. So far you're doing fine, but after 2 minutes you're going to start drowning.
Okay.
Okay. So and you're coming up on like over a minute now.
Okay.
So looking around this room, it seems old. You see like sedimental rock sort of settling at the bottom, and the insides of it have been worn almost completely smooth by years and years of water just sort of existing in the space. And although there isn't too much current here, nonetheless, the erosion has smoothed the walls away.
Okay.
Make a perception check.
7 plus numbers. Plus 2.
Okay. Let's jump back. What is everybody else doing?
Do we see any air bubbles?
Not yet. And you would have seen Garrick.
I texted you what I'm doing.
I
Shame.
will not be going down the well myself. Can we lower a rope with a weight on it? You know, he's got a chance that way.
Is this surrounded by a bunch of rock, or is this the only object that's here? This well.
It's just the well.
It's just the well. Can we investigate the ground around the well? See if there's any other entrance down there, or
Sure. Make an investigation check.
I'm gonna drop a rope down.
What
Can
are
I,
you weighting it with?
First of all, I'm going to start off not wading the end of the rope, just
Okay.
lowering it.
It mostly floats on the top of the water.
Okay, pull it up, and is there a rock nearby?
The only rock nearby is the stone that makes up the body of the well. Which, it's old, it's chipping. It wouldn't be impossible to try and...
How big of a weight do you need?
Do you not have any pythons?
I have no batons.
Oh,
I have an explorer's pack. Does it come in the explorer's pack?
Yeah.
It does.
Okay, then a couple batons from the explorer's pack.
Okay. Tying them around, you get enough of a density to drop it down.
Alright.
I offer one python.
Can I investigate with Morthos?
Sure. You could take aid and investigate with
sure.
advantage.
I got 11 for that one. Is that cut? No, that's 8.
Okay, so 11 was the better of the two. You don't see any sign of another entrance or another way down, unfortunately. Okay. Cool. So, Garrick, you said you rolled a 9 total on your perception?
Yes.
Okay. It's a bit
Do I
difficult to
get
see in
advantage
here.
with my goggles and dark vision?
Actually, yes, you would.
Seriously?
But that's +2, so you get an
So it is a little bit better.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah.
Okay. So the water is still murky, and even so, your dark vision doesn't necessarily dark vision lets you see basically like thermal vision. It's like shades of black and white. So it's still a bit difficult to see down here. There's not too much definition, and the rock faces are smooth enough that it's hard to make out a lot of detail. But you do see what looks like the remnants of a rune carved into the wall, sort of on the opposite side from you.
I press it.
It's mostly just a relief in the rock, so putting your hand up against it, you feel the water thrum briefly around you, but nothing else seems to happen.
I press it hard.
Same result. And it's getting very close to 2 minutes, so you're feeling the fire begin to burn in your chest.
Okay, can I use my spells underwater?
You can.
I try to use, I try to rub the rune off. Let's try that.
Try to scrape it
Yeah.
off. What are you using to do this?
My sword. Or dagger. I have a dagger bandolier, so I shall use my dagger.
Okay, wait. Let me check something here.
I'm just trying to break the rune.
That seems like a really bad idea.
Well, jumping in the well might not have been a great idea, so...
Anything you
Man,
can do,
we'll
you
just
know?
see where this
Survive.
goes.
Okay. So you're scraping away at it, and you are sort of the rock is old, and so you are sort of chipping away at it. Make a dexterity check.
I should have done my thing as an attack roll on you, not an
5
acrobatics thing.
Huh. Dexterity, 3.
3.
So as you're carving, the knife, you catch it into the rune, and it slips, and it cuts your hand open. You take 1 point of slashing damage.
Ouch.
The blood begins to seep up through the water, and it almost seems drawn to this glyph.
Okay. I press the blood onto it.
Okay, it's been 2 minutes. So as you press, you go, and you begin losing your breath. You have 2 rounds before you drop to 0 hit points and start making death saves.
Okay.
That is 12 seconds. So you press against it, and the rune begins to glow a deep, deep red. The water thrums around you, and you see 2 other glyphs to either side of you, also alight.
I press both of them quickly.
Okay, so swimming over to one, fighting desperately for your breath, you press the one, and you swim across, and you press the other as you fall unconscious.
Okay.
I'd like you to make a death save.
Can I do,
You all want to jump
You
down
did
that
it
while
well?
I'm doing that?
You
See what
dab.
happens.
I'm watching this.
So you all.
We can't see any of this.
We don't.
We
In
just
the-
know he's
in-
gone.
So is it
there
an
rope
initiative
down
type
there
of
now?
thing? Like,
It's
Nope.
down there.
so I can't.
So you
use
all
a
are,
spell or anything like that?
It's been over 2 minutes.
Yeah,
now.
so I'm like, someone should probably go down there and fish out his body, maybe, or see what happened. You think? He looked like he deliberately went in some direction.
Lower me down. I'll check on him.
Okay.
I'm like,
Rope. How about this? I lift the rope up. I tie it to her.
Around her waist.
Like
You have 50 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have 50
So
feet.
chest and waist, so that it's a secure harness situation.
And I want to have it over my arm, my thing of 50-foot rope, so if he is there, I can tie him.
Okay,
Okay.
to give you all the best chance on this, I'm going to assume you started doing this so that the rope was ready at a little after 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Not that you're starting this at 2 minutes.
Right.
Because then Garrett's dead.
Okay.
Can I
So you have the
do my
rope.
spell?
You are
While that is
unconscious.
happening?
Her.
But
no.
you guys
While
are
Oh,
lower.
yes.
How is it?
So I've got a.
When would you
sort of
have had
climber's
time?
Belayer,
Cool.
Yeah.
Bonus
And
Okay.
I have rope with me.
Do
so
you
I
have a
can
spell
tie
you
the
can
hand
cast as a
if I
bonus
can
action?
reach it.
Yeah,
Oh,
any of my
your
signs are
signs.
bonus action. So
What do you want to do?
the one that gives me bonus hit points.
Morthos, I'd like you to be
It
watching
doesn't
for the
matter.
well, down
It
the
doesn't
well.
deal
So it's
damage. You
clear
drop
the
2-0.
Spot on the well.
Yeah.
Spot looking down the well because
Sure.
maybe having to
Oh.
back up, pulling.
Absolutely,
Instead
yeah.
of lifting
Oh,
like
so-
this and maybe
so
back
it's-
up.
Doesn't make a difference.
Right, it's not dealing damage to you. You just drop to 0. Like the water isn't hurting you. It's just you're now drowning.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Damn it! I wish I had that next of adaptation. Oh my god!
You
It's a
jumped
wishing
into
well.
the well.
It's a wishing well.
It is.
It should
Doesn't
give
matter.
me the-
You're already unconscious.
It's a
All
really
right.
crappy well. It's not granting our wishes.
I know. I just said your stuff.
Not mine anyway.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so I am being lowered down to try to. Oh, and I want to have my bag of holding over my shoulder and kind of zip it open.
Okay.
Zip
Um,
open. Wait.
Wait, open? You want all that water in the bag holding?
To you. Make an intelligence check.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty.
22.
The ideal would be to keep it closed until you got to him.
Okay,
Keep the
It's
water in it and then
closed.
put it over his head as quickly as you could.
Okay, it's closed.
Give me a sec. Okay. All right. Make a death save. That's a success.
18.
Actually, wait. Let me check. I don't even know how.
My rolls at
death save goes when you're
my
drowning.
rolls at 18 crit. I just realized that.
Huh?
I just realized that my rolls at 18 crit.
There
Yeah,
is no
not
crit
for
on a death
saving.
save.
Oh.
Well, there is, but it's not like it's
Yeah.
only on ability checks, right? Death saves are not
Yeah.
ability checks.
Yeah.
However. Oh gosh. Okay.
I thought it was just in general.
Find your class sheet and check.
I'm only gonna give this another 2 minutes. I'm gonna start pulling you up.
I'm not
Why
under the
2 minutes?
water yet, I don't think.
Why 2 minutes?
Because he doesn't want me to start breathing.
Right.
But you probably want to be like 3 tugs
Right, but
to start pulling
it's
back up or
still
something
like 2
like
minutes,
that.
so I think he'd pull me out if I can't get him within the time it would take me to
Oh.
catch my breath.
Yeah, but it takes you 4 minutes.
Oh, is your
I
constitution
don't know that.
your...
I don't know.
I
that.
didn't know that.
I
that's
have a
It's
vague
your
sense
con,
of
yeah.
how long could I hold my breath, right? And that's what I'm using as my
Yeah.
judgment for everyone
I see.
else. Like, I've had to hold my breath, and it's like a minute or two maybe
Ability and
before
weapon
I start
strikes.
having to like gasp.
Yeah, I figured.
Man, I should be using that more often.
Using what?
At 18, I crit.
Oh, yeah.
Like on
Crit
all.
for what?
On
It's not-
abilities and weapon strikes.
I wish I could
Pretty
find
freaking
this.
good, right?
That's pretty freaking good.
I did not know that.
It'd be funny if you crit at 18.
When
or
I
19.
hex people, I get a crit at 19.
I get
Yeah.
crit on 18 and 19. It's great. And
Because it
20,
brings
obviously.
my
Well,
Well, I get a crit on 20, and 20 is better than 19.
Yeah.
It's a bigger number.
Exactly.
You know what's better
so
than-
hot.
Jazz hears Garrett talking about his ability scores
Oh,
and
yeah, the
slowly
Hexblade
starts to
curse.
pull herself back up. Noping out of this well.
You know what's better than 20? 21.
I don't get it.
Oh god.
Okay.
No one's ever watched SpongeBob in here?
All right.
I have. But
So, this is fun. So, when you make 3 death saves, if you succeed 3 times, you would become stable. However, you cannot be stable underwater. So you would immediately restart your death saves. So it would refresh to 0. You're still at 0 successes and 0 failures when it resets.
Oh,
that's
God.
fun. That's so fun.
Yeah.
This
You-
is like Schrodinger's drowning.
You continue this. You continue this until you either die or are saved.
Okay.
And I'm going to make a ruling here because while the rules do an excellent job of modeling what actually would happen, one thing they don't do is model brain damage from lack of oxygen. So I'm going to model that
What's up, guys?
depending on how many failures you get, you may actually lose points to intelligence if it takes them too long to get
The
you.
1 point of intelligence I have?
It's not your bonus, it's your actual score.
Oh, okay.
But that would affect your modifier.
Yes, it would over time affect your modifier. All right, so here's what we're going to figure out. We're going to figure out how long this is taking you guys, what exactly you're going to do, because 50 feet is not long enough.
What?
But you don't know that yet.
What's happening to me?
You are making death saves, and I will
No, I mean,
basically
like,
count
around.
seconds. Huh? You have no idea.
Oh gosh.
So, yeah, you're going to find out quickly that 50 feet is not long enough. You're going to be making death saves, which I'm basically going to mark in 6-second
You
increments.
may or may not detect the false passage.
Also, both of you,
But we also have rope, so
Both of us what?
passive,
Perception.
well, no, not perception. What are
Passive
your
wisdom.
bonuses to Arcana, the 4 of you who are up?
Mine's +4.
mine's plus
0.
plus 5.
5? Okay, the 2 of you, unfortunately not you, the DC was 15, but the 2 of you can feel this thrumming energy underneath of you.
Garrick.
Wait, are you in the water?
She's about to be.
I'm not in the water yet.
Oh.
I'm still being lowered.
Wait.
Yes.
But
I
wait,
don't
so
understand.
I'm down.
Oh,
they
So
must
it's
be-
sort of bullet time. I'm sorry for the confusion with the timing here.
So has he drowned and then she jumps in?
So if you're
So I'm being generous, and I'm letting them have started that process before he started dying.
after like a minute or so.
Okay.
Yeah, so like a minute and a half in, they're like, shit, and starts like
Yeah,
tying
yeah.
the stuff around. So when he starts dying, that's when she goes in.
Okay,
Okay.
and just to clarify, he has a rock climbing belt which one end of the rope is tied to, the other end of the rope is tied to my stomach.
Okay, so you're.
Belt. I'm using
yeah.
a harnessing technique.
But it
not
is,
a belt,
but
it's-
it is.
So
huge
I can-
Oh, so
and
you've got it wrapped around and like through your arms.
Right.
So it's not tied. You're just holding
Right,
it
so
with
I
your
can
torso.
keep letting you go. Now,
Okay.
as long as you keep going, I'm gonna keep feeding.
So you're
If I
basically
run out, I
belaying
take
her.
rope from you. If I run out, I take rope from you.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's been more than a couple minutes, regardless of whatever, I'm pulling you back.
Okay.
If you tug twice, I'm pulling you back.
Okay, and I'm gonna be telling you verbally as every like 10 feet, like still okay. So you're not
Like,
until I
under
hit
the
water.
water?
I hear you.
When do I hit the water?
After like 15
15 feet.
Oh, okay. So I've already hit the water.
You,
I
yeah,
am
you're
holding
hitting
my
the
breath.
water now.
Okay, I'm holding my breath.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
so
I grab the other end of the rope and start like tying.
Should I just keep
Just in
making my
case.
death saves?
Okay.
I will tell you how many to make.
So I am holding my breath and still being lowered. However, so I'm in the
What's your
channel.
movement speed?
My movement speed's 25 feet.
Okay.
So I am in the channel. So am I being carried down? Because them just lowered, I would have to start swimming if I'm
You
not
would
in
have
the
to start
channel.
swimming.
Doesn't she
Okay.
get pulled down too?
Yeah,
Oh!
you get pulled down as soon as you hit the water.
Okay,
Yeah, so there you
I'm
go.
still-
So she
So,
doesn't have to
Cranmore.
swim.
As she hits the water, you feel the rope go immediately taut, and it's pulling against you, quite powerfly.
Okay.
Are you gonna try and control it?
I'm
Let
gonna
it-
control.
Okay, make an athletics check for me.
All right.
Does
Now,
he get advantage with
it's-
these two guys helping him?
Now it's
Since
18,
it's
but
that
for the
they're
because I'm a
helping.
large creature and this counts
Right.
more as a pulling thing.
Yeah, the
than,
DC is lower for you, effectively.
Okay.
There's no
18.
chance that I could see a necklace of adaptation hanging out.
You
in
can
the water.
actually. So basically, you feel this pull, this immense like pull against you, And then you also feel the pull that Cranmore, like a fraction of a second later, tightens up his grip and starts trying to like let you down lightly. But for like half a second, you have this like stomach lurching, like, oh god! And then the descent becomes more gradual. You reach the bottom and you can see the same. You can see the coins, the carving, the necklace of adaptation. All of these things sort of scattered on the floor of the wishing well.
Wait, you can see the carving?
Yeah.
Yeah, his wooden carving.
Oh.
Actually, I don't want to touch any of this. That seems like bad mojo. So do I see him?
You do not. You perception check.
Thank goodness you've got the dark vision.
You
22.
do have dark vision,
I
right?
do have dark
Okay.
vision.
So yeah, you easily see the channel and you see it go back about 20 feet before ending. Cranmore, are you gonna go?
How much time has passed?
A little over 6 seconds.
Okay. I keep
Well,
going.
no, sorry, a
She
little
gets
over 12.
pulled, right?
Okay, yeah. Because at 2 minutes, he's gonna pull me up no matter what. So I follow it.
Okay, so you go through, and let's see. All right, it takes you a while because of this extra force pulling down on you. It's slow going, and your swimming speed is already half of your regular walking. So it takes you 2 rounds to get there, and you reach the end of the hall, and you don't see anywhere to go. I'd like you to make an investigation check.
Okay.
Didn't she have detect magic?
If she thinks of that, she can do it, but Jasna so far is...
I can't do detect magic right now. I didn't prepare.
You didn't prepare?
You,
Okay.
Oh god, I crit failed.
Okay. It's hard. You don't find anything. You're feeling against a wall, and you're looking all around, and you cannot tell where Garrick may have gone. Another few seconds pass.
Okay.
You can try again if you'd like.
I will try again.
Okay.
Okay. This is investigation?
Yep.
20.
Okay, this time you do manage to find it. So, sort of retracing your finger paths from before, you try and find the places you didn't investigate, where you weren't thorough enough, and eventually you feel your hand pass through. And as you do, you feel the water on the other side is hot. It's not painful, but it is much, much warmer than the water on this side.
Okay.
What do you want to do? Oh, you don't like the black label. Might be. Would you like something else? I have a few other things.
I'm good.
Did
Hot
you try
from blood?
the Founders
Blood?
Reserve I got?
I'm good.
Well, you don't know. You're not looking through
Like,
it
we're
yet.
almost done then.
Okay.
Do you want to follow your arm and go through?
How much time has passed?
30. Not quite 30 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So you pull yourself through, and before you see the same room that I described for Garrick. You see these 3 sigils glowing with red light. There's a current, almost whirlpool-like, coursing through the water here. And the water is very warm. It's like a hot shower kind of warm. Rounds. I'd like you to make 7 death saves.
Do I see any magic from this?
Fail.
Okay? Success.
Success. Fail. Success.
Okay.
So it's
Let's start
reset
over.
to 0.
So you have 3 more to make, and it's reset to 0.
Fail.
That's a success.
Success. Fail.
Fail. Okay, so that's 2 successes. So it sets over again. You're back to 0 as Jasna is entering.
Can I have the book that has the spells in it?
The spell book?
Do I see any extra magic now?
Make an Arcana check.
Are you using... I thought he already used detect magic, right?
That's a 6.
No. Lower than what your passive would have been, so you don't quite feel this thrumming. Okay. Jasna, Garrick, you see on the floor He's still sort of sputtering the last few air bubbles. He's not dead yet, but he is definitely unconscious and drowning.
Okay, and I can swim over to him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I swim over to him, and I, as fast as possible, zip open the bag of holding, pull it over his head, and then zip it back as much as I can.
All right,
And,
so...
wait a
Teacher,
second.
you forgot to sign homework.
Actually, no. I don't zip it over his head. I just throw him in it. And, yeah. Is there going to be a problem
Are
with
you
water
gonna,
getting in, or is it going
like,
to be fast enough? that-
there will be some that gets in there, but it won't be enough to stop him from being able to breathe.
Okay.
Are you gonna revive me or something?
I don't think... I was wondering whether I could, but lesser restoration does not work.
Well, you have a healing potion.
You're underwater.
not.
We'll hear about that in a moment.
You did.
Yeah.
I do not. Okay. I'm gonna tug twice.
Okay, so you feel the tug. Jasna, as you're in this room, you begin hearing a rumbling, and you begin seeing pieces of rock begin to crumble. Now you all feel what seems almost to be a mild earthquake underneath of your feet.
Pull,
You feel the tug.
I'm pulling. Please keep an eye on the well.
Oh, and at some point you did have to tie extra rope on.
Yeah, it was.
I had already
Marthos was
done it.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
tying
Oh,
rope.
right,
He's
right.
spotting on the well.
So you were all good.
All right. So pulling, backing up and pulling and backing up and pulling.
Okay,
I don't see her yet.
make an athletics check.
So
19.
It is not fast, but it does go. You are making progress and pulling backward, and eventually, Jasna, you are being pulled through the channel, and you come up to the bottom of the channel itself, and it's tough, and you feel the resistance trying to stop her from coming upward. Laterally, it wasn't too bad, but now that you're going directly against this force that's pulling things into the ground, you feel this strong force trying to pull back, but you still manage to tug up piece by piece. Garrick saves.
oh, again?
Yep.
I thought I had.
You're
one of
still
those-
So
d-
you-
like unconscious.
I thought
you were
20
not-
revives you.
You were underwater when you rolled the 20, so you became stable, but immediately became unstable again because you were underwater.
Oh.
Yeah.
15 saves.
Mm-hmm.
4
Fails.
16 saves.
Keep going.
We have one more.
Oh.
You have to get to 3 of one or the other.
17.
3. Okay, so you are stable.
Sweet.
All right.
Am I up?
Are we out?
You are stable. You are
Wait,
at
are
0
we out?
HP. You are coming out. So you break the surface of the water.
I see her.
All right.
And
Come
once
on.
she breaks it, it's a cinch.
Okay. So I tumble over the
Yeah.
Top
You
of the fountain,
sputter
like,
over the side of the fountain.
gasping.
Yeah.
Oh, Derek's in the bag.
I rush over and just start trying to dump the bag out.
There's a dead wolf in there. I just remembered.
Everything. Everything comes
And
out.
it's me,
Where's Garrett?
I just
Damn it.
remembered.
Alright, wait. So,
That
Thing smells
That's
terrible.
the
guys.
So does the wolf.
One
That's
second,
the
one
moment of the
second,
week.
one second, one second, one second,
Look
one
at
second.
you are not awake.
1 second. One second. Alright. So when you're pulling out the bag and putting it across the well, the dead wolf hits me in the face.
Don't joke. I'm trying to figure out if you would take damage from this.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
The
But
dead wolf.
She said in the bag.
What
and I'm
all
like,
is in the bag?
She's able to talk, so she's okay. And I'm looking for what is maybe alive, maybe dead Garrick in a bag.
1 lantern, 1 stone wand, 1 staff, 1 ancient gear set, a half bottle of elemental poison, a bottle of general poison, an empty growler, 2 sets of fine clothing, 1 dead wolf.
I do
Why
not.
do you have a dead
Oh
wolf
gosh,
in there?
you're bad.
Why not?
Ball bearings,
Several explosives.
flour, and
There's lots of like
then
glass and sharp stuff, plus poison.
There's a
so-
lot of
200
contraband in
GP of
here.
materials, including a tarp.
1,000 ball
Alright,
bearings.
you take 2 damage and you are again unstable.
Oh.
But But there's people all around you who could probably immediately heal you.
Yeah, right away, because if I'm grabbing you out of this pile, it's with healing hands to kind of lift you up. So I'm now cradling you, and I'm giving, say, 10 points to start of healing hands, trying to figure out if I have to do kind of mouth to mouth. Do I have to, is there...
He's good. As you...
He's coughing.
As you grasp, you see her...
Guys, you should have seen my son.
Okay, Jazz is kind of like, oh my god.
Alright.
I look over to you.
You do not say that, because as you wake up, your head is reeling. You have a throbbing headache that pounds against your skull. Your vision is blurred and you're sort of cross-eyed and having a very difficult time seeing, hearing. Your whole body aches with a raucous pain, and you have lost a point of intelligence.
Okay. Damn.
Which means your modifier is now 0.
No, it's
Yes, it
12.
does.
What's your current score?
12.
It's 12.
Okay, when you go to 11, it goes to 0.
Oh shit! I thought it was a
Guys,
10.
Nope.
Jasna, how
10
are
and
you
11 are 0. 9 is -1 as is 8.
Pissed. But okay.
All right.
But
I'll help you reload your bag.
Jasna's irked.
Why?
And she walks up to Garrett.
Why do
He's
you
not
have
doing
a
so
dead
great,
wolf?
right?
Mm-hmm.
I grab his cloak of billowing and I throw it in the well and I say, I wish Garrett would stop being an idiot.
Oh! I love it.
Okay.
Maybe that gives him his 1 point of intelligence.
That's hilarious.
Wow, damn! My cloak of billowing, really?
She just wished you to get your intelligence back.
It was so majestic.
It was so majestic.
We've all paid a dear, dear price for this distraction today.
My cloak of billowing.
What was wrong with just sticking in a coin, making a wish, and keep moving? You know, I mean,
This is gonna be really fun.
Oh no.
You,
When the DM smiles, it's all over.
part of me is worried that I may have made the worst wish because it's like, oh yeah, high wisdom for the whole party through the next town onto the
There's a
river.
monster that's
It's
gonna
like,
come out of there
what's-
with all the things that we wish for.
Hey, at least I only
I mean,
wish for a
oh
wreck of
my
land.
god.
You asked for simple stuff like some lamb or a
See?
tangible thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, bonus to wisdom.
Oh,
Or
you might not have made the worst wish.
To be
then,
fair, I
if that's
wish I knew
true.
how you worked. Was what Norwin wished for.
That's good.
I also wished for something else.
You did.
I wish for a nice hat.
Yeah, a hat, like lamb, that's all fine, and then it's like, oh,
Lamb
let's-
is fine too.
Just don't worry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yet.
I'm sorry if I screwed us, but for now, I thought it was a good time. I thought it was a good time. So,
All right,
good
did
luck
you
to
guys
us,
see
you
those
know?
runes down there? I pressed them with blood.
Who, yours?
Yes.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Why? She saved you.
Oh, thank you.
We all saved him. Mostly,
Thank you all.
but it was
Effort.
mostly Jasna who went down
Thank-
into the well and almost drowned herself.
You said there were
Thank
what
you.
kind of ruins?
There were runes of like
Chesna,
some ancient.
why do you
stuff.
have a dead wolf?
Oh, I wanted to make it into a coat and then I forgot about it.
I think the real question is, why don't you?
Hey, I thought you liked animals.
Well, this is a dead one. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I was
When did
trying
you
to
play
kill
a
us.
dead
When
wolf
did you
in
become,
there?
like,
Like 5
neutral?
days ago, it's gonna be pretty ripe.
Oh my god!
So what you want to do
That's
is
what
you
hit
wanna-
me in the face.
You want to put it in a tumbler with salt,
Okay.
all right, which will help preserve the skin until you're ready to do something with it, like tan it.
Well, what if you just skin it so you don't have any flesh?
It's a dead wolf, not skinned.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. What
That's
if
kind of a
you
waste. You
skinned
didn't
it?
you didn't skin it in time.
Because
Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna. You
Rot.
might want to pitch this somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's
I-
gonna rot, right?
Let's
Because,
just
like,
Throw it
no
into
matter
the
how we-
well.
No, we're done with the well.
Do you really want that wolf to
Are
come
you gonna
alive?
We don't-
relieve yourself into the
We
well?
don't have to wish for anything.
He'd come back to haunt us as a zombie.
Zombie wolf.
Here, I'll.
With lots of wisdom.
And it can fly and it has a nice
and it
hat.
understands us.
And a roasted rack of lamb
So do
with
you know
it.
how the wishing well works now?
No.
Oh no. While we're waiting by the well, I kind of dig
Those are the runes you saw.
the wolf.
I
a
saw
little bit.
these. It looks like a
Is
target.
he drawing them? Are you drawing them?
I'm drawing
you
them
see?
in the sand.
Okay.
Do we recognize these at all?
However, make a well.
He can automatically read it.
Make a well.
Well, so he can't like what you can read are any languages.
Right.
Like runes are not necessarily
Like
part
language.
of a language. However, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
9.
Can I help him?
You cannot. Okay. Escapes you. Like there's a vague feeling of familiarity, but you cannot place from where.
Oh, Malar, help us.
Can I pray to Ogma for knowledge about the well?
You can.
I'd like to put a motion on the table that we continue on to the next
Oh, that's
task
good.
That's very good.
19 plus
Ogma's
4.
and accept what's dealt to us.
For the first time in quite a while, you hear the voice, and it says, "In time."
Okay. I just accept it.
I'd like to set up camp away from this place and on the way to our destination.
Sure.
I agree. I don't trust this.
This was a lovely distraction.
well.
It was not meant to be that much of a distraction. Why the fuck did you dive into it?
Because my character felt drawn to it.
I have no idea why.
I should have done my thing as an attack roll instead of an acrobatics thing.
What?
I
Oh,
would have
yeah.
won.
Yeah.
No!
Oh, yeah. No!
Probably.
Destroy the well.
And that's how you found out that my attacks are not magical. You're hurt, but it feels okay. It's weird.
That's actually great because you got hurt and heal at the same time. So you can be like, I'm gonna make an attack roll against my friend, but also heal them for the
Right.
exact amount of damage.
Yep.
So I get boom.
I just,
oh,
it's just I would have been too like he's not really doing this. No, I would have done it as an attack, which is why I didn't because
Yep.
I'd be too shocked.
Yeah, let's carry on.
Yes.
As well.
I kind of wanted to.
Sure thing.
Y'all are making me track a lot of shit now.
It's too fast for me.
Is no one in? Damn it!
All right.
I thought that would attract people.
What would?
My plight, guys.
Jumping
I mean,
into the
unless
well?
you
Is that
are-
why you jumped into the well?
No.
Oh.
I mean, like without
my
people
character
already
would.
watching, it can't really.
Yeah,
snowball.
My character would, but for a
I
certain
still I believe you, but I have no idea how. I don't know what about Garrick would have drawn him to that well.
because he thought that it was some sort of magic that would help his Witcher friends.
Because I said that I saw magic, maybe?
Yeah, I'm immensely attracted to magic for some reason.
Okay. All right. So you all find your ways a little bit away from the well, finishing out your day of travel after the harrowing experience that you went through. Jasna, I'm gonna say that given your state of mind and that you're a little bit pissed off, you don't get to make progress on your wings tonight. You're just like.
Character Witchery.
I learned some Gnomish tonight.
What
You
does
all learned some
motherfucker
Gnomish
mean?
vulgarities.
That's fine. I
Do you throw
and
things?
I instead
Well, actually,
Can I-
let me not make that decision for you. Do you feel like it would distract you, or do you feel like you would throw yourself at your work?
no, I'd get pissed.
Okay.
But then
Are
I'd
you
go and
throwing
try to
things
make a
at
little
me?
construct set to wake him up in the middle of his long rest.
All right, cool. So you spend a little bit of time tinkering away the toy. Who's taking first watch?
I'll take first watch.
You're not taking it.
I'm not gonna.
No, you go
be
sleep.
Able to go to bed.
You're
I'll
not-
take first watch.
Hold on.
We all
almost had to
overrule
make
you.
us-
So
Okay.
wait, Joel, the reason I'm saying no is not because you're being punished, it's because you have the equivalent of a wicked hangover. And so
Fair.
I don't think it would, even if...
You're gonna have not good perception.
I don't feel
Yeah,
safe
right
with
now.
you taking.
Actually, yeah,
first
you
watch.
would definitely have a point of exhaustion from all that shit.
Yeah, it just if
It doesn't
after all
matter,
that. So.
I think he should take a break
need
on
to
watch
rest.
tonight.
You need to rest the whole night through as best you can.
Did I ever get my lamb?
Nope.
I don't know, man.
What lamb?
Just
You wish for
you
it.
just focus on staying alive.
Okay.
And if you're saying you got a
What
splitting
happened with
headache,
that
and
noise and the rumbling? Did you feel the rumbling?
we all felt the
I
wrong.
don't think you
but-
did.
I did feel
So-
the rumbling before I went.
I'll
I'll-
take first watch.
You'll take
Yeah.
first.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll take
I'm going to
second.
bed, guys.
Okay. Perception rolls, please. Do you want to wake? What time do you want to wake him up? If you do.
In the middle of second.
Okay.
And I wanted to play something really annoying that'll get stuck in his head.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is cool when you're.
All right.
Oh, nuts!
So
It's stuck in everyone's head. There you go.
I don't know the song, so it's not stuck in mine.
It's Friday.
okay.
No?
So
I know it, but it doesn't get stuck.
what was your roll?
21.
Okay. Your watch goes without difficulty. You watch as clouds begin to cover the night sky during your watch, and by the end, when you fall asleep, the sky is blanketed with them, and starlight no longer filters through. What's your roll?
15.
Okay. It's quite dark, which makes it a little bit difficult to see. Even with your dark vision, you still, of course, get some definition. But without any real point of light at all, it's a little bit hazier. You don't really see anything of note until maybe about 30 or so minutes into your watch, it begins snowing. Light, not really too much to accumulate or anything, but some. And then about an hour into your watch, I'm going to skip the ad.
Oh my god, what is that annoying sound?
All right, less than 30 seconds so we don't violate fair use. All right, so you hear that start going off as a little clockwork toy just begins screaming by your head. But only like right here and only loud enough that it wakes you up, Garrick. You hear this
Can
because
I
you're awake and you're like,
smash it?
sure. Make an athletic or make a strength check. Actually, sorry, an attack roll,
Yeah.
Oh.
unarmed attack.
9.
It still use the same roll, but
Oh,
It was
okay.
a 9.
9 plus. Well, then I get plus numbers.
Plus what number?
3.
okay. Yeah, I think their AC is quite low.
I think it's like 1.
Yeah, so I think it's 5, but wham, and it just shatters into little pieces.
Snooze.
But he gets a really bad splinter.
Hey, you can't say
But
that.
it does wake you up, and you are disgruntled.
But I'm not taking a watch, so that could count as my
I mean, it
interruption.
doesn't like it wouldn't stop your benefits of a long rest. Don't worry about that. So yeah, rest of your watch goes uneventfully. Who's taking third?
I'll take it.
Okay, perception check, please.
Oh god, she's gonna try and wake me up again.
23.
Okay.
was a
Nat
nat
20.
Nat 20.
Okay,
Oh,
nice. Once again, nothing of interest. The snow picks up a little bit towards dawn, and it's beginning to snow somewhat heavily. There's maybe an inch or so of snow on the ground by the time everyone else wakes up. However, during the night, Norwin, you have a dream.
Ooh.
Dream it, Norbald.
In your dream, you see these red wings beating in the darkness. Nothing seems attached to them, or nothing you can see. They seem swallowed up in this inky blackness that puts whatever may belong to those wings just out of your sight. But you have an idea, nonetheless. And suddenly, from behind you, a great light shines. And as this light pierces forth into that blackness behind you, the wings beat backwards, attempting to stay within the shadow in a void its presence. Once it's been driven back to almost the edge of your view, the light fades. And you hear that same voice that you heard earlier today. I never keep you waiting for too long. And your vision changes. And from that inky blackness emerges the well. And you're compelled to sort of go down over to it and look inside. But instead of the trinkets you saw before, you see the 3 runes that Garrick drew, glowing red and bright. And you see these tendrils of darkness, similar to that inky darkness that sort of rims your vision, but these flit with flashes of color, reds, greens, blues, yellows, sort of at random patterns and intervals flashing throughout these tendrils. They grasp and wrap around these sigils, almost bringing them upward from the ground and making them 3-dimensional and giving them depth and shape. As you watch, each of them constricts one of the sigils in turn, until all 3 of them are almost completely enveloped by these dark masses. All is still for a moment. And then you see one by one, red flashing through that same deep color of the sigils, and they burst through these tendrils, breaking them apart. And you see a face sort of emerging from the 3 of them as they morph and change into an enormous grin. And you feel a voice deep in your chest, thrumming against the very essence of your being. And it says, I am how it works. And your vision goes black.
Do I recognize the face at all?
You do not.
So it was a giant Cheshire cat, basically?
So we break that well.
Yep. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Never a dull moment, right?